What's
Here
up?
we go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Knightcast. We are back. We are back with a wonderful Wednesday. We missed you guys. A lot's happened over the week. We're gonna be talking about a lot of things to come, including the Nintendo Direct, the Marvel movie that's coming, and what we long suspected actually happened. So, but was it to anybody's surprise? Was it to anybody's surprise? Also, um, the Nintendo Direct news, we're gonna dive into that, and also some other interesting news. Some good, some bad, and some are just like, why the fuck is this even here? But anyway, Joker, what do you want to dive into first?
Well, let's talk about some of the Nintendo stuff because I think it's important to, as remember, for our loyal audience, there's always positive stuff to talk about. I know there's a lot of negativity or stuff that's hot to talk about, like that's in current situations that we should still talk about. But it's always nice to say, what are you looking forward to for the rest of the year? What are you looking for that's coming up? I guess this is Nintendo Direct. It's like, am I expecting Switch 2 news? Probably not, but what is this direct about? Even something small, I might watch it here and there.
Oh, absolutely. So, um, the Nintendo Direct, from our understanding, also hello, Sarah, George. From our understanding, apparently the two rumored games are gonna be Deltarune and Silk Song. Some very some classic games coming, and also there isn't gonna be much of the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff, but you never know. I mean, with the Game Awards and everything, we did not expect some of those games to happen, like the Kazan one and others. We knew there were going to be some games announced, but not at that caliber, and we were pretty shocked because last year we had the announcement of last year's Nintendo Direct. We had the announcement of Metroid Prime 4. So now it begs the question, what is going to top that? And also, there's a rumor going around that there's also a Zelda port coming out. So what that port is, it's actually going to be The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD and The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD. So two very important, very critical claim games up there with the Legend of Zelda series. I liked Twilight Princess. I enjoyed it. I'm I'm not as skeptical as the next guy, but I'm actually hoping we do get more ports of that to the Switch because it's nice to play such great classics back at that time. But there is one game I really want to come back. I am gonna harp on this until the day I die. I want a Mario Golf Toadstool Tour HD remaster. Keep everything as is. Keep the cartoonish stuff in and what made it great with some modern graphics, of course, for the Nintendo Switch, and also some new hidden characters too. I would like to, you know what, and a surprise character too. You would have Link and Madame Flurry, I think that's her name, and also a whole lot of other casting characters. Because the last time I played that game was on the Nintendo GameCube back in 20, I want to say 2012. That's how long it's been since I last played that game. And I love Mario Golf. I understood what they were going for in the one that came that in the one that's been out. I understand the why, and I get what they were going for, so I can't really fault them, but I just miss the classic feel of it, and watching and just watching my opponent go crazy and why I cannot beat this man. um, but I'm very, very excited for these rumors. And again, ladies and gentlemen, these are rumors. A
Rumors,
lot.
speculations, especially the dreadful Silk Song to Hollow Knight, or Silk Song, the spiritual successor to Hollow Knight. Have you ever played Hollow Knight before?
I heard of Hollow Knight. I haven't fully gotten to play.
What?
I heard of
What?
I heard of Hollow Knight. I haven't sat down and played it.
Metroidvania Soul. It's such a fun game. The art style is breathtaking. It's wonderful, filled with mystery. Like, if you're a fan of Metroidvanias, you owe yourself to play Hollow Knight. It's such an amazing story. I don't even want to spoil it for crying out loud for a lot of people, but Silk Song is definitely the spiritual successor. Same team, same developers, but definitely with how long it's been in development for, it's always been, are we gonna get it now? Hopefully it's not vaporware. Definitely on Patreon, according to one of my former coworkers, who's he has stated that a few different times that Patreon still does get open. They still get support. So it's like, okay, so they're still logging in. They're still working on it. There's backers, so good. Will we ever see Silk Song? I'm hoping sometime before I die. I would love to play Silk Song before I die. Because if I do die and they announce it, like, you son of a bitch, not now. But
Also,
I am hoping the best for that team. Again, the famous quote from Miyamoto himself is, a delayed game is eventually a good game. A rush game is forever bad. So hopefully they're making all this time and effort worth the wait. And if we do finally see it at Switch, at the Nintendo Direct very soon, then wonderful. If not, I'm still probably going to say it's probably going to be somewhere during the summer, or probably at an Xbox Direct, or PlayStation State of Play, before you get to the Game Awards. So we'll have to see. We're gonna have to wait and see for that one, because it's been a long while. Getting the two Zelda games, for me, that as a Zelda fan, I appreciate getting both Wind
hey,
Waker
Cliff.
and Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess was actually my first Zelda game that I ever played on the Wii. What an experience! What a time that was! And when you have to argue with people that Zelda is not, like, Zelda is an important character for the franchise, and she's a great example of what female characters can be. Hell, my mouth dropped when Midna is injured, and after a boss battle, you have to get back in Wolf Link form to the castle again. This time, not within the realm of Twilight. You're like doing it in actual reality, where people can see you and everything. And they see you, there's a wolf. Oh, great! And when you do get to Zelda, it's my favorite scene in any Zelda game. People say blasphemous, like, hey, you never forget your favorite Zelda game. If I play yours and say, well, that's not great, you will be arguing with me right now saying, no, this scene is great. This is my favorite scene, is when Zelda saves Midna. Oh my god, just the way how that scene is, and even Midna's telling you to stop Zelda from going through it, and then when she's healed, Zelda, poof, disappears for the majority of the game. It's like, wow. So this is the power of Zelda. Obviously, has one of the Triforce as well, but I'm like, this is Zelda? Wow, no wonder why she's been such an iconic character, a legend for all these years. What a great introduction, or well, what a great scene. This is amazing. For Wind Waker, again, I only played like the demo back on the GameStop on the Wii U, and I know this is during when they did do Wind Waker after Ocarina of Time. That's when it went to more of a cartoony style Link, but in the timeline where it's in the hero timeline, when you defeat Ganon, you go back in time. But that timeline, when Ganon comes back, hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey James, hey Callie, hey Cliff, what's up? Keep going.
Ganon takes over the world, well, basically of Hyrule, and they can't do anything about it because everyone's waiting for the hero of time to show up. But since you're from the past, you don't show up. So that's when the Guardians, or I forgot the, I know I'm not very like familiar with the lore, but that's when they took things into their own hands and they just flooded Hyrule. And then Link is later reincarnated, so or like a different version of Link. So if you ever wonder, like, wait, are there like there's multiple different timelines? There's the fallen hero timeline, the child timeline, the hero timeline. So they separate. So whatever you start off with, you're going to be in a different timeline. Again, I want to say this even for when we did have uh Tears of the Kingdom and everything. Well, it's great to have Tears of the Kingdom and the game that preceded before that. I do like that style of Zelda. I thought it was nice and fresh, change things up for a bit. Hell, you can beat the previous game within an hour after the tutorial. Not Tears of the Kingdom, but the one that came before that. I'm like, wow, that's you can beat the entire game. Just go straight to the castle without stopping at anything else. You will miss all the story beats and everything.
Yeah, and I do like that, and I'm glad that we got the Zelda game where she stars in her own game and everything. I thought that was sweet. I welcomed it. People were ragging on, well, like, oh, girl boss, this and that. It's like, have you people not played a female character in a while? It's about
Have you
time
not played
Zelda
Smash or the last days?
It's about time Zelda got her own game. Just like I can make the same case for Princess Peach. I'm happy she has her own game. It was a nice addition and a breath of fresh air.
Yes, it's something that we say that let's just try out a game. If it has a female lead or male lead, doesn't matter the gender really. If the game looks good, I'll buy and play it. If there's a demo of it, even better. I'll try it out, see what's for me. If it's not, I'm like, all right, at least I try the demo. I might pick it up on sale or just say I gave it a fair shot. I gave it a fair chance. I'm just gonna move on and not worry about it. But when you're such have like two iconic characters like Zelda and Peach, well, it's nice to see some recognition. And if they do another Zelda game that does have Zelda as the lead, I'll be fine with that. But of course, eventually, I do want to get back in that classic Zelda formula. Going through all the dungeons again. Maybe that's not semi or fully open world. Get back to more of that nice linear style that I liked with Twilight Princess, because that was a really fantastic journey. And when you truly had to figure out, okay, where do I go? What do I do? So I want to get back to some of that style a bit. So if we see stuff at the Nintendo Direct, that's great. And if they do slightly tease stuff or whatever's going to come next, awesome, great. And I only have these old Nintendo directors left with us for such a long time still. So hopefully they can pull out one nice game before they say, "All right, I'll hang it up now."
Oh, exactly. And it's good. Nintendo Direct. It's a lot of fun to watch. We get excited for it. Because remember, with E3 gone and the disappointment that is the PlayStation Direct and all that. The only thing we could think, the only ones we have any fun looking forward to are the Game Awards and Nintendo Direct, and that's it. There's also the Summerfest, but we all know how that goes on and everything. But
Well, to
I'm
be
up.
fair, I will defend the PlayStation Direct because they do two things. One is the smaller stuff that's coming. That why are you guys asking for all the big stuff here? And then their main event where you might see stuff from their AAA studios or some third party developers they're working with. Like, what are we expecting? Is the expectation demand so high that's like, I mean, the last direct we got to see Ghost of Yotai. We got to
Oh
see
yeah,
Ghost
we
of
got
Yotai.
that.
We got to see
Yeah.
Dynasty. Warriors Origins, and a few others. Like, dude, this is fantastic. And yet they're like, yeah, it's not that. This is what we wanted. There were some great surprises here. And yet it's like, and again, I will be fair to play devil's advocate. They spent the last 5 to 6 years working on a bunch of live service titles that was it 9 out of 13 that are canceled? I can't remember the exact numbers. Either 8 or 9 of those titles that have been canceled, and it's like, yikes! No wonder why they're scrambling for stuff, and no wonder why it's been very much been a dry spell as of late. Yes, there's still first-party titles that come out, but again, some of it's the safe stuff, and there's been a lot of remasters of lately. Again, I'm still very much excited, happy as I can be that we're going back to Days Gone. Hopefully, it's still a good game, and hopefully, if you have yet to play Days Gone, it'll be great. Evening, Xavier, evening, my friend, welcome.
Evening,
And again,
Xavier, welcome.
I agree with people. They need to be spending less money on these development times, and manage the budget better, manage the resource better, time.
Exactly,
Because like we said, it takes like 4 to 5 years to get one big triple from not just for Sony, but for any of the big guys. Look how long it took just to get any of your favorite games the last few years. Look how long the development was. Which is why I've always been championing. I am so glad Astro Bot won, because that's a smaller title. Might not have a big budget as Naughty Dog, Guerrilla Games, or any other companies out there. Does it have to be from PlayStation, Nintendo, or even Microsoft? Look at that. A small title, a small, medium-sized family game won the hearts of millions. And I said, why can't we get more of this? Please make more of this. Please, please, please.
Exactly.
And my answers were answered this year and last year as well. I finally got Sly Cooper. All the games for the PS2 era are finally available. I was so happy. I got to relive my childhood. And I was just smiling all the way through, going, this was my childhood. These are the games I played more often than not. I was so happy.
I was having fun. I had fun on the Monday stream of Sly Cooper, because we finished the first game, and then
it took you 4 to 5 tries to kill Clockwork. What it took me 1 try. I'm like,
but you forget.
I just kept smiling, like, dude, I would have been done with this like already. Heck, I would have done a boss rush. I would have done the boss rush while you were doing this. I'm like, I'm done again.
And also getting into Sly 2 and everything. That was great. And
even the intro was great for Sly 2, just to show you the difference between like you got the whole crew and everybody together, the different composer, like different setup. It's like, dude, this is so cool. Even as a kid, I was like, this is so awesome. This is the gang and everybody.
I did have. Well, we had fun. We had fun.
And that's why I want Sony to learn to have fun. Make these smaller titles again. I would, in a heartbeat, if they made Sly 5, or again, put the collection of Sly 1 through 4 on 1 disc or 2, I would be like, I'm there. Let's go. Buy it immediately. So hopefully, with Sony finally realizing we need to reset the button big time, and for all of them, even with you, Microsoft, look how long it took to get a new Perfect Dark game. Yikes, that took way too long. Especially with them resetting and everything. Even last few weeks back ago, we talked about the closure of Monolith, which is very sad. $100 million down the drain. This just shows you that
that Wonder Woman game.
Yep, that's Monolith.
1 million.
100 million down the drain. 4 years, $100 million.
If somebody told me that, if I was like one of those office people and everything, like funding this game, and we hear how much we lost to that,
I would be saying,
I would be mad.
I would be mad. I would be talking to the bosses at these meetings, being like, "Who spent $100 million on this game?
And then you lambast
Like,
like
like you're never getting that back.
Wonder Woman is a simple fucking character.
It's a
A
simple
simple.
character. Like, I did talk to Bubba about that because we were I tweeted at him as well, and he said that a Wonder Woman game made by the Middle Earth team should have been easy. He said, yes, it should have been so easy. This is all I wanted was an action game. That's all I wanted. Like, what were you doing? It's such a simple slam dunk, but sadly, that's the industry we live in.
And they got
The developers will get all the
and
blame.
that
The
and
lower
that
level
screen.
people will get blamed, but the higher ups, they'll just stay in office.
And don't forget that shot of Wonder Woman on the title thing. That was as perfect as you can get. That was just as perfect of a Wonder Woman look as you can get. It captured her beauty, the innocence behind her eyes, and
She's very much muscle. Love my muscle lady. So
and she was
this is Wonder
relatively
Woman.
toned. And I'm like, you know what? We
This is the
got
character. I'm
this.
like, they got that right. I was like saying, I can't wait to see gameplay. And according to another YouTuber, Legacy HD Kill, and according for people that have connections to resources out there, a lot of these trailers you see these days, like some of the big announcements, some of them are just, hey, we're making a Wonder Woman game. Come join our team. Look at Bethesda with Elder Scrolls 6. It's still going to be a few more years before we see Elder Scrolls 6, but that's just the announcement going we're going to make Elder Scrolls 6. Join our team. And dare I say, Blade. Blade by Arcane. Again, turned Marvel. I don't trust them. Look what happened to Redfall. The Arcane Austin team is no more. And yet it's still Arcane's name by the guys over in Europe over there. So it's like,
I was actually playing.
no.
I was streaming RoboCop last night.
Oh my god, I can't even. I'm gonna say this. They made a good RoboCop game. Wow.
All the references were there. They were there, and I'm like, okay. I could not. Joker. I had a hard.
I said no because it was by the
I had a
Terminator
hard
team,
time.
which I did not trust. But they proved me wrong. I was like, damn, it's a good game.
Yes, yeah, they did, and I had a hard time putting down the game last night. I had a hard time ending the stream because I did not want it to end. I had so much fun on that game last night. Ask anybody that came by last night, they will tell you I was a laughing maniac on that one. And I enjoyed the elements controlling RoboCop, hearing the backstories and everything, and just the all out shooting fun. And I love the Deagle. I favored that throughout the rest of the stream. I favored that one because it was so crisp, so clean, and I'm just having too much fun. And then but I like the components of how you could upgrade the Tech 9, the other gun and everything. I got rid of the shotgun because I'm just like, I didn't like it. I don't know why. If it was an assault rifle, I wouldn't have complained. But what you get what you get.
But now I
Other
kind of
other
want to see that same team make a Dredd video game. I want to see Judge Dredd.
Oh, that would be great.
Because if they can nail RoboCop, can they nail Judge Dredd? It will depend on the Terminator games. Because I know there's some good ones out there, but T2.
Actually, I can hold on. Let me
Pull that up. But
yeah,
as we end this little kind of video game
keep
topic,
keep talking.
hopefully some
Keep
games will
talking.
come out. They'll be great. They'll surprise us. But here's one that I found. If you can kind of show it after you find the Terminator 2 stuff, is that I mean I even forgot how long this was even a thing for Final Fantasy. I knew at least one of them was, but folks, this is why both mobile gaming is both a blessing and a curse. There can be a lot of good stuff over the years, but I put this in the private chat for you. So if you want to pull this up, if you can't find the Terminator stuff.
Oh, It's called Terminator. It's called Terminator 2D No Fate. Oh.
Pull it up,
Oh.
or are we gonna get copyright?
Let me see what I can pull up.
So while he's going through that right now, so apparently I can't quite bring it up right now because I'm sort of trying to figure out like what the hell happened last time. War for the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Nexus was launched back in Japan back in 2019 and worldwide from March
Okay, I
25th,
think I can.
2025. And
I think I
5
can
years later,
pull.
5 to 6 years later, ooh, here we go. Here's the Terminator. Ooh, damn. Oh, some screenshots. Ooh, pixelated versions. Ooh, this looks good. 2D. Ooh, oh, that's good. Ooh, I remember that scene. I know that scene.
Oh, it's a shot for shot. Oh, it's the second movie.
Multi-platform.
Oh,
Hell yeah!
oh,
Let's.
oh,
Ooh,
oh,
in the future.
let's.
So that's gonna be like how. So they're gonna show how Arnold got the past. Sweet.
And
And
it's coming September 5th this year.
son of gun, it's taking too long. But hey, you know what? I I think with how successful Terminator. Have you seen Terminator Zero yet? Please tell me you've seen it.
Yes, I have.
You finished it.
I gave it the benefit of the doubt. It felt like an actual Terminator. It felt like an actual Terminator anime.
Did
Felt
you finish
good.
the show?
I
Finish it?
finished it. I finished it. I loved
That
it.
was so good.
It
That was so good.
it was too good for its own good. That's how I enjoyed it. I'm like, how the hell did they pull this off? This is
I
great.
even for my tweet alone, I mean my tweet review, I actually got the like by the writer. I got a like by the writer. The main writer liked my tweet, so I'm like, yes. I mean, he was going around liking a whole bunch of stuff, but I would like to say Terminator Zero saved the franchise alone. I was like, oh my god, this is the best project since Terminator 2. It explained a lot of things. Very much felt like an excellent thriller. Like I was watching the Sarah Chronicles, Sarah Connor Chronicle. I know that's a tongue twister. Say that multiple times. The Sarah Connor Chronicles show. Felt like I was watching that again back in the good old days of Fox, which was great. It's a shame that it got canceled after season 2, but this reminded me why I love Terminator. The whole philosophies, ideology, the whole way they keep going back. I'm not gonna say anything because I caught myself, but the reason why it went next level is that you know that scene they're talking about halfway through the show, and they're explaining the time travel stuff. My mouth dropped when I said, "So that's why all of the movies are canon in their own way, and why they keep happening." It's literally, I can't believe I'm saying it, a dark fate. Wink, wink. It's literally them paradoxing themselves all this time. But it's like the way how they explain it to you is so fascinating. But it's like, but can that happen? Can it? Like, I guess it can. Because they keep going back in the past. It's like, no wonder why they never stop. Wonder why. So that's a clever way to save the franchise, but also keep things separate if you want them to be separate. You want there to only be 2 Terminator films? You can have that. If you like Terminator 3, go right ahead. You want to see Resist? Is that what it's called? Terminator Resistance? Or no,
Yeah.
Salvation. There we go. Salvation. If you want to make Salvation canon along with T1 and T2, go right ahead. And I will admit, Genesis effed up big time because had they kept that big reveal for Genesis with her son being the new Terminator, I think that would have been a nice reveal. But I remember back in the day in school when I was looking at that, I saw a news article that said the producers came out and said, "Don't watch this trailer. We beg you, don't, please." And those producers were right, because that was the big twist reveal and made a lot of people upset. And I'm like, and Genesis wasn't bad. It wasn't insultingly bad. It was just good, but played a little bit too safe. I like Amelia Clark as Sarah. I liked her take. It was great to see Arnold back again. It's like, again, he's fine. But I mean, I'll never know if it was two or three.
I refuse to acknowledge Dark Fate though. I refuse to
Oh my god.
acknowledge that was
Dark
that was
Fate had
like
some nice ideas, but the problem was the story and the execution of said story. And I'm like,
I
so
wonder how
Skynet's
many
gone,
people walked out after they killed off John Connor in that
and
scene.
that was the opening to.
I wonder how many people just said, "Fuck this, I'm out," and just got up
Well, here's
and
the thing.
walked out.
I almost did. I'm like, no. So that's why we have a Dark Fate. You killed off, even though Judgment Day was meant to be over again. But thanks to Terminator Zero, you can have whatever you want now. So that's the beauty. And if we do get more, this will be
Apparently, it's a
great.
fan remake, from what I heard, Phil.
To Insanity. So okay.
But but Terminator Zero though, if you haven't watched it, go
Go for
watch
it.
it.
It's great.
And it doesn't treat you like you're stupid or anything. It actually explains it to where you're like,
Where
oh,
you're back
you
to the
actually
classic
learn.
writing of really good classic writing, really. It challenges stuff. It makes you question, who are the good guys, who are the bad guys, or it's done really well, and it's by people who were passionate about it. And it was also fascinating if you do watch some of the behind the scenes stuff, where even the writer said, "Okay, you guys have to tell me like what's all here for us," because obviously, if you're living in America, you might have access to a few other things. And I still got to say, the Japan's version of the police of the police station scene, I think that was even better than the Cameron version. I would argue that's even better than T1. Granted, someone's going to say blasphemy, but I would challenge you. The Terminator Zero police station scene is way better.
Do a side by side. I challenge these people to do a side by side comparison. You'll see it. You will. We all love the classic, though. We love the classic, and and we're speaking here with reverence, people. But an anime style of that scene was beyond my expectations, and it delivered. And I'm like, this is good. I love it.
If we do get more, great. If not, I'm fine where the ending is at because that's a good ending. If we do get more, awesome. If not, that's fine. But I think right now with the fan game coming out, or like the Twin Sandy version of this game, go for it. I mean, if that's even successful, perhaps Fox and Disney will be like, let's do another one. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So anything, what I put in the private chat about Final Fantasy Mobile right now, it looks like another fate of the mobile of these mobile games shutting down is happening. War of the Vision Final Fantasy Break Nexus is shutting down. After 6 years of Japan, 5 years on the stateside, it is shutting down for good. So,
Yep.
what is happening for these games lately?
Yeah, because we've been seeing a lot of we've been seeing a lot of mobile game shutdowns lately. And of course this is the notice from Square Enix, the website itself. Um so it looks like they're moving away from the mobile market because it's not you can make the argument it's not a sustainable market. You can make the argument on that, but for these big games and everything, how many people would play them and everything? That's the number one question I always hear, and I'm like, and as I tell my boss and a few other people, don't underestimate gamers because they will do anything for their favorite stuff and even play these mobile games. There used to be a Sailor Moon mobile game I used to play. I want to say 6 years ago. 6 years ago, there was a mobile game. There was a mobile Sailor Moon game. It's like a matching one where you just match up and everything, but there's a story progression in it. It has story tied to it, and I think I got to the Death Busters arc in that one. Uh, yes, it was. Yes, it was that one. It was that one, and I got to you got to unlock like the characters and everything. Like some of them, I managed to unlock Sailor Neptune before that game got shut down. I managed to unlock her because you know me. I love my Sailor Neptune, and I am biased as a motherfucker. So I managed to get her, and was not easy. That was not easy, and also spending $60 on
Okay.
microtransactions. Anyway, so that aside, this is not new. This is not new, but it's something that is a continuation of game studios shutting down, games being shut down, like the services being ended and everything.
Like the near reincarnation
Oh,
servers after 3, that's a big one for if you did like near fans, and people did say for that one there was for Yokotaro and his team that there was a lot of good stories actually. I played it for a little bit, it wasn't for me. I'm like, I would say if this was more on console and not like a little bit of this gotcha stuff. Well, I don't know. I think I wouldn't even call it really a gotcha, but some of the usual mobile, marketing stuff. Maybe I would have liked it a bit more better, but that's what YouTube's. I got it here for a little while for YouTube, so I could watch some of the stuff on there. But to be honest, with a lot of this mobile stuff, it's either going free to play, which is now which we like to call the freemium model. You're hoping people will pay some real world cash money to support the game and keep it going for a while. But 3 years, even for Nier, that didn't last too long. I mean, and hopefully I get a new Nier game, or they go back to Drakengard with the Drakengard 1 remaster. That would be wonderful to see. But it does go to show you that there's a market for there for mobile, but how many people will really, and we mean really, really show up for these? There are dedicated fan bases out there, like Type Moon with Fate Grand Order. Fun fact: Fate Grand Order was almost Fate Apocrypha. Actually, the idea for Fate Apocrypha comes from Great Grand Order, but they decided to kind of switch things up. Hence, we got the Apocrypha story for the light novel side of things, and Grand Order became its own thing with expanding upon it. So there's that as well. But there's a lot of Fate Stay Night fans and Type Moon fans, so they'll definitely be there out there. There's a Madoka Magica. I think I heard a little bit of that through the grapevine. So there's that too as well. Obviously, for me and Fire Devil, we do both like Goddess of Victory Nikkei. Very popular. I wish that was even nominated more often because it's still continuous. They'll be at 2 years now, so hopefully they can keep it going. I know there's a latest chapter that just dropped for all the Nikkei fans. They always do the more seasonal stuff and then the main story stuff. Like, even for me, slight spoilers, you do find out why a little bit your character, for some of the Nikkeis, especially for those who work for the government, might call you number 7. So, well, the whole big reveal's been released quite yet. At least for that season that dropped, I'm like, okay, I can see why, but they're still keeping the mystery alive for a bit. But you kind of get the picture with that. But it's oh wow, good job, wow, really, well, I hope you enjoy it. But even for me, wow, good job.
ooh,
Like even when I was sick back in 2023, being bedridden with the coof, that's all I could ever play. I couldn't go downstairs, couldn't even be on the computer. I just was on my phone constantly playing Nikkei to get caught up. The Evangelion event. I think the first one was a little better. The second one, it was alright. I got through it fine enough. It was alright. It was nice to get. I got like the second skin or like the second Asuka for the second Asuka Willie, so I got her instead. So I did like it for enough part, but like hey, it was successful. Well, I don't believe they'll do a third one, but who knows? They did surprise me with that second one. So, but I think it was fine. I thought it was fine. I thought it was alright. I think the first one was still better than the first event. I know that. I mean, they did Chainsaw Man. They've done ReZero. They've done Nier with the Automata collaboration. I do wish they did either the original Nier to along with again Drakengard. I mean, to be fair, in order to get to Nier and Nier Automata, you have to play the original Drakengard and attain ending E to get the start of Nier, and achieve ending D for Nier to get ending to get to Nier Automata. So that's why I'm hoping for a Drakengard remaster. But some people say they should do Nier 3. And to be fair, I wouldn't mind a Nier 3. They just got to really knock it apart for that one. But again, when you look at all these mobile games, even the big one that was Pokemon Go for many, many years, how long until that gets shut down by the Pokemon company Nintendo? How long until that lasts? I mean, it will last because it's Pokemon, but how many of us are really playing Pokemon Go outside of the big crave, when it first launched? That was everywhere.
Yeah, that is and it goes to show that they're like, well, Square Enix is like, well, we try to make a very fun app and everything for the game and all that,
Lasted
and
for
make the
6 to 5 years, 5 to 6 years. Very true.
and I admire the attempt and everything. This is what happened with Crash on the Run. This is what happened to Crash on the Run mobile. That game was fun as hell. I had fun on that one. Got to see Pinstripe, got to see Oxide, got to see a lot of other cool people on there. I wish that game didn't get shut down. I wish there was more support. It was a lot of fun, and there was like a lot of elements that could keep it going. But then again, this is when Crash Team Rumble was coming out. And unfortunately, that game, great concept idea, great concept idea. The launch was a bit wonky and everything, and everything. But they were on top of the fixes, though. They were on top of them. Uh, Still glad I got that one skin for female entropy after 2 nights of stress trying to get a challenge. But it was worth it though, and I'm happy. And as I got it, I was just sitting there shaking, holding my controller, and I'm just like I was like, I fucking got it. I fucking got it. I'm about to have a fucking heart attack, but I got it.
Yeah.
You should see my face that night. I was like I was on the
but
verge of falling. I was on the verge of
but
falling
no.
over, going to the hospital. I was on the verge. That's how
But
bad it was.
that's the thing for a lot of these games. Like definitely like Nikkei and Nier and a few others. They're definitely more story based driven mobile games. Even like the big ones, like like MiHoYo with Genshin and several others. But how long are you really waiting for these big updates? Like they could advance the story or something that's fun, because you never know what's going to happen. Like everybody wants a slice of that pie, and when everybody tries to get that pie, you really got to get your game to stick out for one another, so that you can get part of that fan base, and then you can continue to thrive. But to me, this is also nervous for Square Enix, because if they're shutting down this, there has still yet to be even a nice big update for, guess what? Kingdom Hearts Missing Link.
Yes.
And hearing what's
One
going
door
on with that
open.
development, I wouldn't be surprised if they just canceled it silently, or they just said, let's just incorporate some of these elements to Kingdom Hearts 4 to help out with the story that way. Because To be fair, honestly, I'll play devil's advocate again. Union Cross did last for a very long time on mobile. It did. It very much did. And now it's also in offline mode. So congratulations, that game finally got completed, and there's also the Dark Road expansion for that. Again, to be fair, Devil's Advocate, that did last for a long time, but how many fans are really, and I mean really for the Kingdom Hearts community, are really gonna play Missing Link again? Like, yay, another mobile game that's on that has important lore information again. Just saying. But if they're shutting down Brave Nexus, you can start to be very much more nervous as how long is this game on mobile going to last? A year? Two? Because a lot of people are just going to dive into Kingdom Hearts 4 without even playing Missing Link. And some of us, like myself, we just might watch the cutscenes on YouTube because why am I going to go for a mobile game when I can watch it on YouTube?
And that in lies the question of these mobile games. That in lies the question. Look, I like certain mobile games here and there just to pass the time and to have fun and all that. There's some that caught my attention. Others, for the most part, if I'm in a blackjack mood, I'll play blackjack.
Mhm.
When I'm out and about, I'll do something just to pass the time. But for some of these, it's like, what are they really going for here? And and like I said, I don't mind them making an attempt with these big IPs and everything. I appreciate the attempts and all that. I appreciate, but it's just the timing and what's going on. If this and as you said, you make a very valid argument. If this is being shut down, it's more grounds to know that Kingdom Hearts is really coming. If they're doing this, because remember, when Crash on the Run got shut down, Crash Team Rumble came out after that game in that same year. So you can make the case with this one. Final Fantasy, one of Square Enix's biggest IPs out there since we were playing on the PS1 back in the day. No denying that. They're sleeping on Kingdom Hearts, their second biggest one. And I'll make that, and I will sit on that fucking hill until the day I die.
Well, it definitely was very niche, but Kingdom Hearts 3 really did bring it to
Oh,
the big
they
screen,
brought it. Kingdom Hearts
along
3
with the
brought it.
1.5 HD2 collection. So, to be fair, there's that as well, and then getting 2.8 as well. So, it really did help out. But again, how many of those fans are really going to play Missing Link to how many are going to keep that game supported for a while until they say shut it down. It's not worth keeping up for a while. So that does give you that question. The other thing too, as well, for the director Tetsuya Nomura, he did state a while back in an interview that he does want to leave the industry, like he wants to retire. For so I'm kind of getting nervous with the big guy. So hopefully he goes out on a good high note rather than a low note. So and if he feels like, yep, I've done enough, then good for him. Good for him. And to
Oh,
bring up Xavier's point as well, yeah, Monster Hunter now. Again, Capcom is doing well with Monster Hunter. Definitely has risen over the past several years now with the story, Rise, World, and now Wilds. How long will that game last until they say, shut it down, boys, shut it down?
oh, I'd be mad. I'd be mad if they did that. Be like, nah, we're
It's
finishing up
still
this
young, it's
arc.
still fresh, so it'll be strong for a while, but how long will that last? But I feel bad for those who did play Brave Nexus. You put a lot of time and money into it. Yikes! But at the same time, like it was coming to an end. So sadly, hopefully, it goes out with the bang too as well. But there's another thing we could talk about, more positive, that I do want to bring up is that if the 100 line Last Defense Academy flops, hold on, this is from this development team. I just put in the private chat as well at the very first top one. I think this is good to talk about because it's a new IP by the Danganronpa creators. Danganronpa, very popular franchise. And this is their brand new game. Brand spanking new, starting off fresh. I want this to be, I mean, you can tell it's very much Danganronpa design, same talent and everything.
Oh, yeah, you could definitely see like the reference and the inspiration behind it. So, Joker, what exactly is going on here? Go ahead. What is going on here, Joker? What's
Well,
all
apparently,
this
the
about?
developers, what I've been hearing and reading a few things from time to time by when is this game coming out? At least, like it looks interesting. I mean, if the 100 line, if this game does flop, they just said we'll just stop making games. I think they'll just safely retire and then kind of like go on from there. So you do want to say, yikes. But as they say, that they'll go bankrupt if this first game doesn't sell well enough. But they're pretty much charging in right now and just saying, let's just go for it. So I think that is wonderful of them to do. But but if you want to get heroes to go. In 2016, I attended my first GDC. Oh, no, that's not what I'm looking at. Okay. They kind of talk about working on the Danganronpa series and everything, but 100 Days of Hell. The 100 line stars took me a regular high school when a regular student whose school life gets shredded the moment the monster school invaders start descending on his academy. A strange being called Sayuri gives him power. Like this looks awesome. This looks interesting. But basically this game is just like a tactical RPG. So this sounds great and wonderful. Grid based. If you like any of the classic tactical RPGs and stuff, this will be great. Core the team, one round may take about 20 hours, but that only scratches the surface. Full completion could take about 40 hours or more. So, damn, there's multiple storylines and everything that's going on in here. I mean, even looking at, wow. I mean, this does remind me of, what was that game? 13 Sigmas that was published by Atlas. So, I mean, this looks great, but then they're saying that, like, but wait, why would this game fail? And I think it is a new IP done by the Danganronpa creators, but when you do start with a new IP that isn't all that well known, like, even if you say from the creators of this or that, is it truly them or someone who just worked on it? This one truly seems to be them, but if they do say that if this doesn't sell as well, even with a brand new studio, brand new people, it might be the end. Turn off the lights. So I would be sad because I need new IPs. I need new inspiration. So I am hoping this does well. So hopefully it does well because I think it's interesting to see that perspective by people who are within the industry. Like, there's a reason why Hideki Kamiya left, originally Capcom to pursue Platinum Games, create creative differences, creative liberties. But now he left Platinum to once again make his own studio again, be back to be working with Capcom again. It's because the same thing happened. Platinum Games went in a different direction. Didn't like the vision that the studio was heading in. I might as well leave, and that could have been the end. But he decided to be like, oh, I want to make more games. I do want to make more games. Hence why we get Akuma. So I think that's wonderful. So in short, I do wish these developers the best of luck. I want to succeed. Maybe we'll get a second game. And if not, it's going to be a shame of what if this was successful, if this would have created the next big thing out there. And like we say, you get more risk when people want to do stuff versus doing the whole Yes, you need to create this. Yes, you need to create that. No, you can't. So I want this to be successful. So, and it's one hell of a tagline because that's what they've been saying for at least a year. I know, at least when even I heard about this game that like doesn't do well, they are gonna shut down the studio. I think that's something really to take that in a little bit. I mean, how many people are that confident to say that? Really?
Exactly. It's good. It's and it's a new game, so it's like, well, we gave it a shot. If it fails, it fails. We're moving on. We still have the Danganronpa series. We could still build something from it, and it's the right attitude. They know they tried, and it didn't work out the way they had hoped, and they're looking at it from a more positive aspect because they have the entire Danganronpa series on under their belt, and that can keep going for as long as it can keep going. But at least they were willing to try something different in a sense. And if it doesn't break their confidence, I'd say okay. I mean, look, I mean, we can't say the same for a certain other company who doesn't know when to quit when all the writing is on the wall pointing to one outcome and they refuse to acknowledge it. This company here knows what they're doing. They are they know what they're doing. And it's like, you know what? If this game goes belly up, at least we tried. At least we tried. And that's all you can really do. Is just give it a chance. Go out there if it and just
Can you
sit back
find the
and
same
watch.
creator? I mean, he does have another game that was called Master Detective Archives Ring Code. I think I always wanted to play that for a little bit, but that was a Nintendo Switch exclusive for a while until last year it came available for Windows, Xbox, and PlayStation. So it's like, why am I just? For some people might say, why are we hearing that just now? Sadly, when you're exclusive for a bit, you might not know about it until you might see it pop up in your feed, or you get someone like me who might talk about it, or you might say, "Wait, there was a new game like by the same team." Mm-hmm. Again, smaller teams, there's creativity there. So I might stream that. I might stream that other game. Hell, I might even stream this if it's going to be available. But I mean, it's only a small company, 10 people, only 10, excluding outsourcing their game for other help by other developers. But I still think they're keeping their heads up and saying, you know what? At least we're going out with a bang. So, and I hope it is a bang.
Yeah, I hope so too because it needs it this game deserves to have a chance at least. Give it a chance. And if anything, if it fails, then well, at least it got a fair chance to go out there and be played. Hey, Freedom Fighter, thank you again for coming last time for the RoboCop stream. Had a great time with you on that one. So all we can really hope for is the best for this studio, and and they seem in very high spirits, regardless of the outcome. Regardless of the outcome of that, at least they're looking at it from a positive standpoint. It's like, well, we got other things to do. So to that, I say good luck to them. Good luck to them because they're gonna need it. Um, apparently, though, Joker, you and I have been debating all week for the last few weeks about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and look what happened. Look
Oh
what
boy,
happened. Look at those numbers as of right now. This is as of right now.
so you're on the actual Steam count? Steam
Uh,
actual. Well, that's like
so
from like how many hours ago? Hold on, let me find the actual one.
yeah, find the actual number. Assassin's Creed Shadows peak stream player counts 27.5% lower than Dragon Age: The Veil Guard. That is scary because we thought the Dragon Age was bad. Hold my beer. Hey, Dragon Ball Evolution, one of the worst anime adaptations in the history of the film. Snow White, hold my beer. Okay, he as Joker has a better.
Oh, finally, I got it. Finally, holy crap, it worked. Maybe I need to update my PC and restart it more often.
Yep.
So,
So
as
here's
of
the.
right now, that's where it was back in the
Hey,
49. So they
holy.
reached the max, which is at 64, which is right here. So that's not too bad. But then the lowest count is like, eesh, 28. But then it
Oh
kind of goes circulation. I'm not going too fast, am I?
no, you're good. You're good.
Okay, good. And then it just keeps going. Ooh,
Oh,
we're still on March
oh,
26th. So that's at 7, so that's the lowest right now. But not, then it kind of goes into
and
stable. And again, that's 48 hours of the week. So even if I did the whole max, you start up pretty decent numbers, but then you're kind of going down and down and down. Like it's flatlining right now. Again, okay, I'll stop sharing right now. So there's are those numbers. Again, people are going to say, but it's doing well. Those are the Steam numbers. I don't know about like GOC or like yeah yeah GOG. The other one then The Witcher likes to run their games on like you know do I gotta or like what the Epic Steam numbers are like. If this is on Epic Game Storefront, we don't know what the PlayStation numbers are like, but people are going to say, but they sold 2 million units. Well, to be fair, we keep debating about having 2 million to 3 million are bad numbers. The numbers for Dead Space Remake was around like 2 to 3 million. Close enough. Within that range, at least. And for a Dead Space game, that's pretty good numbers, actually. But EA, being EA, decides to not greenlight Dead Space 2 remake, let alone Dead Space 4. So our favorite franchise is sadly dormanted. For a game like Final Fantasy 16, people were still debating, but 3 million units were. Well, they probably got a few more here and there, but even they had to say it was slightly flop to eventually made something. Even something like Final Fantasy 15, I remember back in the day for 15, where they said they made around like maybe few months. They said they made about 5 million break even, so much so they just broke even within 15 itself. Yikes! And that game had a very long, frustrating development as Final Fantasy Versus 13 before they kind of retooled it, reset it to make it a mainline title, and then it's like whatever the reason, Nomura was fired. Then the other director came in to kind of finish the game, so kind of sad. But I know it's Assassin's Shadows and it's Assassin's Creed. Creed will still sell well, but not a whole lot really. Back in the day, I believe this was during the era of the broken games for Assassin's Creed with Unity and Syndicate. People kept saying, no, we are not buying these games if they're going to be this broken, this terrible at launch. Hence why Origins got the big full year delay and it was in better shape and it was the better game. And if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, of course, obviously, you're going to pick it up and play it, but I refuse to play Shadows. To each their own. Again, to each their own. To each their own. And if Freedom Fighter does enjoy Assassin's Creed Shadows, again, to each their own. Good on your brother.
because remember, this coincides with another thing that has happened to the wonderful world of Japan. Japanese shrine featured in Ghost of Tsushima announces full tourism ban after an unacceptable act of disrespect was committed by foreigners. This is why we
Mm,
can't have. This is why we can't have nice things,
that's
and
the.
that's the Scarlet Rock Shrine, and it's actually based off of that.
Oh,
Uh,
that's right. God, it's been a while.
it's known as the Watazumi Shrine. The location question is dedicated to is Shinto shrine found in the city of Tsushima, Japan's Nagasaki prefecture, just on the shores of Aso Bay. So I want to say somewhere further out, probably away from Tokyo. I want to say, my knowledge is
But
really
either
bad.
way, when you have these tourism, the bad ones who are just clowning around, they don't are very disrespectful for the people of Japan, the town, for like just for anything really. When you get bad apples like this, it ruins the experience for everybody. And they have to take measures in their own hands to lock it down. Only for those who are locals to who are worshiping, you can come in. But for the tourists, you're out. And for me, I do like to go to Tsushima. I would have loved to visit some of the places that were actually depicted in Tsushima, even in a fictional version of the island. I would have been like, this would have been cool for me to say, hey, I visited what it was actually based on. But now that's ruined because of these people. That's ruined. And again, Tsushima has a lot of love and praise for what they got right about the island, but also what Japan liked about it. The directors were literally named ambassadors. Ambassadors. Sucker Punch owns directors. They were named ambassadors for Tsushima Island. That is huge and massive.
Hmm. And this
Compare that
is
to Ubisoft with Shadows, where Japan government owned government. They're like,
yeah,
again, if you
it
don't enjoy Shadows, that's fine, but just remember behind the scenes, there's a lot of different stories going on.
exactly, and
Heck,
it
there's even
still
a shrine in Shadows that YouTubers actually found out and said that, hey, you cannot have the shrine in your game. There are even movies made in Japan that if they were to use the shrine could not been used. So how did they get permission? How did they get permission? There's like there it is right there. And if they somehow got permission, I don't know what type of money they had to pull or all the meetings, but that goes to say something a little bit there. They have used weapons from One Piece, a destroyed shrine for Naruto, the lead female assassin, and Yasuke originally as a figure until they removed it and said, "Whoops, we're sorry about that." There's so much controversy with Shadows that if I named everything, I would probably get a headache. But I think it would show you the difference between like Ghost, the love that Ghost had versus what Shadows is having.
yeah,
And when you go inside, like these are two opposites of the different coins.
yeah, I heard about that too, and this is no surprise. This is no surprise because given what Shadows did and everything, it's like if they could do that in their game, what are they gonna do to ours? So I understand why they did this. Is it a bit out of line? I would say yes and no. I would say yes because given everything that's been going on in Japan, thanks to a certain streamer that we will not name here, ruining it for everybody and
But
bringing
another
eh,
tourist, going to the gate. How do you say the
geisha.
women who geisha? Thank you, geishas, and then recording
Oh,
them
oh,
going into
that pissed me off because
going to.
you and I have not been to Japan yet. We have not
Like
been to
I remember
Japan
I
yet,
was going
but we
around. I was
know
like, why are you doing
we
that?
we know what geishas are and we know what not to do in front of them. This lady didn't get that memo. Every time I see that video, it just boils my blood. It's like, great, you're making us all look worse. Now, next thing you know, I'm gonna have to be really careful where I go if I really do go there for the visit. Um, but again, I understand the why. I understand why Japan is doing this because we yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, from what I've heard, wonderful game. And and that's the thing these shadows won't ever do is respect the culture that it's portraying. It doesn't respect shadows does not respect it.
But Anime Night, they had they have the warning in the game. This is the
But
work of you know what that work of fiction is in every single Assassin's Creed game, starting from the first one. We know what we're getting into, but
we're not
but
we're not dumb enough to
fall for it this time. But however, they used to hire these great people that actual historians, people who worked in these fields for all the mainline games, even the side ones, to be like, this is accurate, this is not. Yes, there's gonna be
you
that
can you to
suspension of disbelief, but
yeah.
every assassin that I used to play, from original Assassin's Creed all the way to Valhalla, even Mirage, they all felt believable in their own way. Yes, you felt like the believable renegade Altair Illabahana who broke all these tenets and yet fully redeemed himself throughout the events of the first game. You truly felt like you were the handsome, charismatic Italian man, Ezio Auditore da Firenze, in his trilogy of games. Even Connor. I know Connor's divided a lot of people, but Connor was probably my favorite assassin because he felt like he's in both worlds. Yes, he wants to protect his tribe, but at the same time, he's conflicted with his English half, with his father being a Templar during that big revelation for him, at least, how the colonists are kind of treating each other and the other Native Americans. But he fits that world perfectly. Even when you win at the end of the game, Connor feels sad that he lost his tribe. He's lost his father figures. His mother's gone as a child. And yet strangely, he fits that middle ground of he's not really in both worlds. He's he needs to find that proper balance. And to be fair, in the comics, he does get a better life. As a wife, has a couple kids. Even Evie's commented in Assassin's Creed Syndicate when you go to the Kenway mansion, she said, "Hey, wait a second. Connor came here after a while." And I'm like, so he settled down then. That's wonderful. Like even the Kenway family, like all of them, all the colonial assassins, they all felt believable their own way. And yet Shadows, maybe Naruto is one of our better protagonists we have in a while. Maybe, but Ubisoft's writing team is not the best in years. I think their best written game might be Splinter Cell Conviction, or along with Black Flag for me, but it's not been the best. Maybe Shadows will turn around and make a million, make some more money. But this is literally the game for them that is do or die. Yes, someone might say, but Hideki Kamiya, you know what you know what I said this for Last was Part Two. I still felt bad for those developers for Part Two for Naughty Dog. That look, there's a lot of crap going on right now. I'll still buy the game and support it. I want to play it for myself. And I think that's what Hideki Kamiya is doing. He sees what's going on behind the scenes. He knows what Twitter's like, or like social media is like in general. It's like, hey, you know what? They made 2 million units or sold 2 million. That's good. He's just saying, good job. That's it. He didn't lose the guy. He's just giving his support. Wonderful. That's fine. That Assassin's Creed Twitter account can do whatever they want with Elon and everybody else, but they're looking for stuff to just market the game a bit more, a bit better. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this: if you guys, and for here on YouTube or Twitter, if you're enjoying Shadows, continue to enjoy it. Who am I to judge you? Who am I truly to judge you? If you like what you like playing, wonderful. And if not, that's fine. To me, I'll skip this entry and then hope for the best for later entries. That's all I can
It,
really say right now.
And I second the message because look, we're not intentionally ragging or saying the game is a piece of shit. We're just giving valid criticisms and everything, and given all the controversy that's been going on and Ubisoft's refusal to literally learn from it and all the crappy stuff that they've been doing, and then they were like, "Oh, wait a minute, they're actually angry with us," and the abysmal amount they did to like remedy it's way too late for them because Joker showed the numbers. Look how bad the numbers are going. The numbers speak for itself, people. The numbers speak for themselves. Now, look, I understand that there's some of our friends who want to play this game. Knock yourself out. We're not me, Joker, and a lot of other people are not going to stop you. We're not going to stop you from playing the game. If you want to keep playing it, have fun. Just have fun. That's all I ask. That's all we ask actually. But we're just providing with what we know so far, and to give our valid points on it. We're not copying off of other people's work or quotes or anything. We're basing our own opinions with the information that is provided. That's how it works around here. And I'm gonna probably skip this game too. I was looking forward to it, but the amount of controversies and the abysmal responses by Ubisoft was enough to convince me to just walk away and wait until Ghost of Yotai comes out or something similar. But I have been playing other different games that actually can pass the time and have fun with. But I don't know what is gonna happen but I do know this: the quarter one calls are going to be very interesting. Once we get the final sales and everything, once we get the final sales, we'll see. We will see if this. I don't even know if Ubisoft's going to break even. I don't know. Because the Ubisoft account on and the Assassin's Creed Shadows accounts on X can do whatever the hell they want, like Joker says. We're judging it based on what they do with the game. We're basing it on that and everything in between. Because with a culture like that, you have to understand Japan is vastly different than we are right now. If you compare our country to theirs based on religion, politics, the laws, the customs, and everything, it's night and day. It's a very stark contrast. And but don't get us wrong, we're grateful that Japan gave us all the wonderful games and everything and all the culture and all of that. We're grateful for that, but there comes a point where you gotta respect it. And unfortunately, given the disrespect to the authentic Japanese researchers, historians, the disrespect to the ancient shrines and the government, I say the response from Japan is well justified. It's justified for a reason. And to the average person, it may seem outrageous, but to us, it's like, no, this is justified because you just pissed off an entire country with just that. Finally, I'm just going to end it here and say Ubisoft, you've had a fun run. You just don't know when to quit. But to everybody else who's playing the game, we hope you are at least enjoying it for what it is. And that's all we ask. That's all we ask. Anyway, that aside, Joker, there's actually a game you might be interested in. So,
What?
this is space. This just broke today. This just broke today. Space Adventure Cobra: The Awakening release date set for August. Publisher Microids and developer Magic Pockets have announced a release date for Space Adventure Cobra: The Awakening It's based on the legendary 70s manga anime by Buchi Terusawa. Space Adventure Cobra: The Awakening is set to launch on August 26th for Windows PC via Steam, GOG, and Epic Game Store, and also on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, the Nintendo Switch, the PS4, and the PS5. And it's a faithful adaptation of the first 12 episodes of the anime series. And it's gonna be a sci-fi space opera, and it's gonna be a platform crossover. It's gonna be platformed. So, and it has solo and multiplayer modes. I don't know about online play, but that will come later, hopefully. But I'm excited for this. I'm excited because I loved Space Adventure Cobra. I remember that anime vividly, but I remember watching it and I was just so enthralled by this. And to see this get a faithful retelling of it in game form, I'm actually excited because it's going to cover the first 12 episodes of that series. So I'm looking forward to this. This is what we need. And it's and Joker, it's a platformer too. It's a platformer.
Yes. A win or win automatically in my books.
Yes, and visit multitude of exotic planets across levels filled with traps that will test your skills to the limit. With Cobra's superhuman abilities, you will need to relentlessly run, jump, and climb, and make sure you use all the means at your disposal to take out your enemies. Equipped to the nines, master Cobra's iconic weapons such as the awesome Psycho Gun and the Colt Python 77. Oh, I'm excited to see that. Oh, I'm ready for that. Joker, your thoughts?
If it's staying faithful, I like what I see, what I hear. This is exactly what I would say. This is what we say, the classic saying of, "This is up my alley." And it's based off a manga, right? So this
Yeah,
is even better, even better.
yeah, it's based off it's based off the legendary 70s, the 1970s manga and anime by Buchi Tersawa. So I'm excited. About time the 70s anime got the love. Because that's one part that never gets talked about, though. That's the one thing that never gets talked about.
Definitely, 80s and 90s animes do get talked about a lot, but
Because
when you go back,
that's more up our alleys, but we like going back to the classics, and I'm discovering older classics from the 70s by the day, and I'm like, why have we not heard of this? But go ahead, Joker.
but so this will definitely get a lot of people if you are into anime manga like us, or you're getting into stuff, or like I want something that's unique and interesting, something with a cool art style. I think this is a win for all three parties. The win for gamers, you get something wonderful, amazing. You get people again like us who are fans of content like this, like mangas and anime. This will bring us into this world either for the first time or revisit again. And for the third thing, I think it will repeat interest to be like, hey, if this is successful, what other stuff do you want to adapt from the 70s era of manga and anime that would work well into a video game? Because I think this is wonderful. You're getting stuff that was underappreciated, more attention now, more love, and that's a win for all parties. That's a win for all parties right then and there. So this is huge, awesome. I can't wait to play it. It looks really good too.
It does. I am very. Let me see if I could pull up. I don't know if they have it out yet. Let me pull out the. Let me see if I can pull it up. Uh, okay, okay. Let's. It's probably not out yet, so we'll have to wait and see. We'll probably get the game. If anything, we're probably going to get the gameplay trailer pretty soon. Most likely, I want to say, let's see, it's March right now. We just got the announcement for the release date. The next trailer to drop is the gameplay trailer. If we're going by the formula here, because we're past the game announcement date. We're now into the release date announcement. So we're probably gonna get the gameplay trailer. I want to say between May and July. May and July of this year is when we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
But it's a shot in the dark. It's a shot in the dark because it could drop tomorrow. It could drop tomorrow for all I know. But let's see, what else do we got going on, Joker? Let's see. Apparently, it looks like we got the Doomsday. So how do you want to tackle this? Wait, what do you want to do? How do you want to tackle this?
Okay, so, well, I guess you and I called it a few weeks back ago. Some of the cast members that were announced are from Thunderbolt, and guess who's alive?
Yep. How do you screw this up so
Twice.
bad
Twice.
twice? Because look, we got Chris Evans, we got Haley Atwell,
Well, hold on. I don't think Evans is really in this, unless. Okay, so let's bring it up to this. Here's the big announcement. Just list the Marvel characters' names, not the actors and
okay.
actresses. Here are the characters that are confirmed to be in here.
Oh wait, major MCU stars not included. Oh, I'm looking at
not included. So
okay,
these are the people that are not included. So this is the big list right now. So we're gonna highlight all this.
So these got
are the ones who are not in it.
So we're not gonna get Hulk. We're not gonna get Okio. We're not gonna get Star-Lord. We're not gonna get
Daredevil, Wong, Miss Marvel. Thank God.
Thank fucking God! Get the hell out of here, Brie Larson. Daredevil, I understand because
Ms. Marvel, not Captain Marvel. Ms. Marvel.
Oh, Ms. Marvel. Oopsie. Hawkeye, Spider-Man, Moon Knight. Oh,
that's a big surprise.
That's actually a shocker right there. Valkyrie, the Wasp, White Vision, She-Hulk, War Machine, Captain Marvel.
Well, to be fair, War Machine is technically speaking an invader. It's a Skrull, so it's not even the real War Machine.
And apparently we got Taskmaster. I know how you feel about Taskmaster, Joker.
So is she dead in Thunderbolts?
I do
because how do you screw this up twice?
Ironheart. Oh, that's not even out yet. That's not even out.
Well, technically speaking, she was in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever for half the movie. So,
Nick Fury.
Well, he's already been disgraced already. So sorry. Yeah. Good.
Kate Bishop, Scarlet Witch.
Really, no Haley Steinfeld. That's shocking.
Scarlet Witch.
Well, duh, there's no Madam Web. Duh, that movie sucked.
Oh God!
Not even Sydney Sweeney could be in this.
not Sydney Sweeney. Even Sydney Sweeney and her outrageously large tits couldn't save that one. Comfy pillows, actually. Monica Rambeau. I never heard of that one.
Monica Rambeau, Captain Rambeau. This is another one of the Marvels. So.
Okay. America Chavez.
Really? Okay, that does shock me a little bit.
And Doctor Strange.
Wow, not even Benedict. Not even my boy Benedict is in this.
That's embarrassing. Holy crap.
But that's a lot of names, including Evans. Some people said Evans is in it. Some people say he's not. I will tell you this. If he's in it, he's not going to play the Captain America we all know. Oh, no. They don't have the gall to do that. You know who they do have the gall to give Captain America? All I have to do is say this, and you're going to flip. Hail Hydra.
Yep.
That's the cap they're gonna give us. They're gonna make him say Hail Hydra, and I'm gonna go. You can't even give him a proper death. You can't even let him. Well, he finally got to be with his girlfriend, but you gotta desecrate him by going Hail Hydra. That's the cap you're gonna see. If you're gonna see Chris Evans back, that's the Captain America you're gonna get.
Okay, it
Mark
looks
my
like
words. Mark my words. They will do that. They don't care about legacy characters. They don't care about them. No. If he's ever back, it's gonna be Hail Hydra.
yeah. And here here's
Now here's
the full cast list. I'm not gonna read. And again, we're not gonna read the actor or actress's names. But this is gonna be very interesting. So we got. This is part 1, by the way. There's 3 of these. There's 3 pages of this. So bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. So it looks like we're gonna get Ant-Man, Shang-Chi, Loki, Sentry, Yelena, Falcon. Oh God.
again. They spoiled Thunderbolts.
Magneto is making an appearance. Oh, I guess Ian is ready again.
Well, I have problems. I have problems with 2 of them, at least a couple of them.
Bucky, M'Baku, and then the second one is gonna be Thor, Beast, Cyclops, Gambit, a U.S. agent. Oh my god, they couldn't even give a guy a proper name. What the hell? Sue Storm, Mystique, Professor X, Nightcrawler, Black Panther, Namor, Reed Richards, Ghost, not Ghost Rider, just Ghost.
The female version of Ghost.
Yep. Johnny
and
Storm.
all the Fantastic Fours.
And Red Guardian, Doctor Doom, The Thing, and Captain America.
Falcon. And Captain Falcon.
Yeah.
What? Fight us. He's not Captain America. He's Captain Falcon. So, essentially, with this listing, I'm going to get my negatives out of the way. They couldn't keep it in their pants.
They can't. They cannot
but I
keep
mean,
it.
They couldn't keep this a secret. If they revealed a couple of the characters, I would have been fine. But the fact they got to tell us that Scarlet Witch's sister. Well, here's the thing. The reason why I said this is the multiple times that they have. You could say it's not like what I'm trying to state and say here is that they have accidentally now, for the umpteenth time, revealed who's alive at the end of Thunderbolts. They have revealed who's alive at the end of Thunderbolts. And someone's going to say, well, what's in their contract? They were always going to be alive. I got to figure out exactly when does Thunderbolt take place. And if they're doing a multiverse storyline telling, then maybe these will be other versions of the cast. So keep that with a grain of salt. Or if they are alive, well, then kind of ruin the fun a little bit. So if I didn't see anybody from Thunderbolt on this list, I would have been like, fine, maybe they'll appear in Doomsday. And then I would have been like, hey, there they are. Cool, sweet. But my big issue, here's issue number 2. Ian McKellen.
We love the pieces.
Are back. Now someone should say, but I'm going to say this for these 2 legends. I only have so much time left with both Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, and you know that. They could go any day now. Any day. They're both very old, wonderful, wise sages we have. They're national treasures. Fight me. They can go any day.
Patrick Stewart is the perfect Professor X.
Oh, he's the perfect live action Professor X we're ever gonna get.
The closest we're ever gonna get.
To have.
And Ian
Would I
McKellen as Magneto, I think that's as close as we're ever
would
gonna
I
get
love
to
to have
that.
Michael Fassbender back? Yes. To be fair, I'm gonna give these two giants for Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart one big thank you for coming back, and please let this be your last comic movie. Because please, 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 like you need to retire, both of you. Please, just sit back, relax. Patrick, you need to be with your beautiful wife, please, and just stay with her, please. Ian, I need you to retire, buddy. I'm glad you're still working, but holy crap, please, I need you to do whatever you're doing now. Let that be your final films, so I can safely not have to worry about you fall. I remember, yeah, I believe it was Ian who did fell. Well, yeah, was it Ian who fell at something? Yes, I think it was. It was like a theater play he was working on that he accidentally fell, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, he's okay, he's okay." He's like, "I'm fine now, I'm recovering." I'm like, "Good, good, 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 good."
Oh, I almost had a heart attack when I heard
Because I
that.
think it was Ian who fell at something. And we're like, "Oh god, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no."
Oh God,
So
someone
that's
check
good.
on him.
So I'm glad these two gentlemen are back again. They started the whole X-Men family with all the other guys again, and I see they brought back the original Nightcrawler actor. That's huge. That's bonus. That's amazing. Look at Nightcrawler, same actor. Oh, great. Uh, is Mystique still played by?
Oh wait, hold on. Let me pull her up. Hand. Uh, Rebecca
Yep,
Roman. Oh, the
yep. They're
original.
bringing back the original X-Men cast. That's great. That's
That
wonderful. All of them are
okay.
back, but this is definitely what I called is ruined with the casting call,
I'll be right
even
back.
with the listing. Because if these four were saved along with Beast, so that's five of them with Kelsey Graham, along with Channing Tatum's Gambit and Cyclops, so technically speaking, six, I would have been more happier if these were surprises. Because you could have kept it hidden. You could have told the cast and crew and people who are on set no photos, no photography, no videos, no nothing. No cell phones, no cameras. This has to be a surprise. And I think it would have been fine. They have done in the past with different films, different movies by different companies and different production companies. I think they could have done it. I think they could have made multiple of these cameos or appearances by this cast to be the big surprise. Of course, Namor was coming back. Of course, like, the Fantastic Four cast members are coming back because they're just getting the movie this year, and I believe that's after Thunderbolt. Yeah, that's after Thunderbolt, and then we go from there. But the entire Doomsday cast feels like my third issue is this: they need good names. They need people that are recognizable, that are again what we call people who can bring in box office success to what fans remember. They want the good people there. The fact I'm not even getting Chris Pine as Star Lord is a blessing in disguise for this with that great man himself, because he's never been in part of the other stuff some of the other people that I can't want to mention on this cast have been part of. Election, which is a good thing.
And
But to be fair, from a story standpoint, what are you going to do with the Guardians of the Galaxies? Really?
yeah, what more can be
And
done
let's
with
play
that
devil's
group?
advocate on the positive side of things. After I get down with my negatives, is that I know they're looking for the third thing. Like I keep saying, they need the big names. They need people that are recognizable, people we haven't seen in decades, even if they're played by different counterparts. They need people in here to be like, it's everybody. They got everybody's in here. You can't at least save a few surprises for us? Like, what happened to being surprised?
Yeah, like because we did like with Deadpool and Wolverine when they did
That
that
was
when
a
they
wonderful surprise.
because it was authentic, and we actually got so excited for
I
it.
got to see Chris back, and it's like he's gonna say it, flame on. One last time, Johnny Storm. Yeah! And then you got to see Electrica. You got to
Yes,
see
uh,
Blade. You
and,
got to see Gambit. You got to see X-23. It was like, oh my god, they're all here.
yeah, they're
Yes,
all.
the joke with Daredevil is funny, and funny it is Garner who said it. I'm like, oh my god, why? Why are we still disrespecting Ben? It was
Uh,
great to see the Fox's version of the first Juggernaut, which is hilarious, and to see the people from First Class. I can't remember the guy. Like who's the guy with the devil from First Class? What's his name? I can't remember his name. It's been so long.
hey, Channel Starface, a new face, a new
Hey, welcome.
person. Yeah, welcome,
Welcome. But
welcome.
but you kind of get the idea. Seeing people from Deadpool and Wolverine from the old Fox era from Marvel combos, I think that was a blessing in disguise. Hell, I can say one positive. There's no Eternals. Thank freaking God. Now leave them alone. Leave them away. Because I don't need the Eternals. They
Uh,
were just too hard of a sell. Even me going through that entire movie, I'm like, I'm bored. I'm bored. And
I
the
could
only
just
reason why I
imagine your
actually saw
face.
people stay was One Direction was in there. One of the actors from one of the people from One Direction was in it as Thanos' brother. So I'm like, oh, I know why everybody stayed because to see One Direction, yay! And then they teased Blade. So hell, maybe I'll finally see Blade in this movie. But to be something more positive, what are they really gonna do with all these cast members? Like, what are you really gonna do if you have the Guardians of the Galaxies in here, or like a fraction of the X-Men, or all the Spider-Mans and women out there? Like, what are you gonna do with the Defenders really in Doomsday? Who are you really gonna pick that can go up against Doomsday, or let alone we need to team up and stop whatever Doom is gonna do? Who are you really gonna get?
Right.
I think
And
that's a positive one to say. So, like, who are you really gonna do with these stories? Thank you, and thank you. God, what's his name? All right. Okay, it's been a while.
yeah,
Been a long
and
while.
let's dive a little further now that we're still on this topic. Uh, Giancarlo
John Carnell
Esposito.
Esposito.
Yeah,
John Carnell Esposito.
he wants to play Mr. Freeze in the DCU.
On a positive note, he's my favorite actor. I keep saying he's unstoppable. Look at all the stuff he's getting. He's unstoppable. Granted, the Marvel stuff could have been better. You don't waste my favorite actor like that, Marvel. Shame on you. Him as Mr. Freeze. I can definitely see it. I totally can.
I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt here because he is a great actor. He's a great
He did
actor.
voice Black Spider in Assault on Arkham Asylum. So, could I see
I
it working? Yes. It would be a big name, but can he do it really? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt if he is selected. Though I think the villain he probably wants the most to play. I don't know if he could really even do it, really. Oh, God, what's. Hold on. I'm trying to think for a bit. It would either be a great Batman villain he would have to pick, or I would probably say have him be. Oh God, I don't want him as Brainiac. He would be a great voice for Brainiac, but probably I don't want him as Brainiac. No, he's got to be somebody else. Hmm. Well, see now that's difficult. Who he would play.
what about Darkseid? We haven't seen a proper Darkseid yet.
The proper Dark Side was in Smallville and outside of the animation.
That's the one character we have not seen Well,
You
aside from
gotta find
Smallville.
the right person for Darkseid, in my opinion. You need the right person for Darkseid. So, voice wise, you would make it. Really? Hmm. I mean, I kind of want him as Brainiac, but then don't want him as Brainiac. But if he's got to fit Brainiac, I can see it work because he's charming, he's charismatic, he's very smart. He's been playing a lot of smart villains of lately. So, like, he can probably do it. So, I'll put that in a pin right now. If they get him as Brainiac, I'll say, all right, I'll give him a fair shot. My favorite character. So, go for it.
Yes, and it just goes to show what they're gonna try and do and everything. But I wish him the best of luck though, because Mr.
I can
Freeze
see him wear the suit. I can see him wear the suit. And if I can see him wear the suit, I'm like, I can kind of see it now. Kind of see it.
kind of makes sense in the weirdest way possible. It kind of does make sense. Uh, so continuing on, Joker, have you heard of this? Have you heard of this?
Yes, I have actually. It was about like a year ago I heard about this. So yes, I know that Netflix they were like making a live action Scooby Doo show, and to me, Scooby Doo already has two live actions movies, two made for Cartoon Network movies when they were both in high school. They had a Velma and Daphne movie-ish that was very small. That like it's out there, so you don't really have. Okay. Hold on. Okay, do I like Darkseid the Snyderverse? No, I actually do like that version of Darkseid because that guy is actually awesome. He's got the right voice. They got the right guy who did the motion capture. So that was great. But that's it. I mean, if John Connell can nail Brainiac, then fine. But again, this is what he wants to play, Mr. Freeze. But this is going to have to be put it years later down the line. Then we'll come back to this video and be like, did we call it right? Did he get Brainiac, or did they find someone else for Brainiac? And to be fair, Darksider and Justice League, the Snyder Cut, only has one movie. And to be fair, in that one movie, he made the best first impression when you got to see what would happen if he did get all three mother boxes, which is badass, actually. Oh, and just see him use End was amazing.
Uh,
Unfortunately, that's never going to happen with current WB and DC. So
it won't happen. It won't happen because
they spent a lot of money on the original Justice League, and even them spending more to just finish the Snyder Cut is one thing. And we're looking at two different companies owned by two different comic books companies. It just won't quite as happen. And I'm sure that Doomsday movie is going to have a massive budget for that. I mean, I know off topic, the last Mission Impossible movie is over 400 million. Yeah, that's right, 400 mil with the 4M, 100 for each million. So I'm hoping that movie does well, but if that does bomb, it's going to look at all the other production companies who are making these movies that are in 300 to 400 million to do just a big, massive double take. So, I mean, I know for sure that Doomsday budget is going to be ridiculous, very ridiculous. Hell, even spending 200 million was out of nowhere back in the early 2000s. But back on top of Scooby Doo, so I do hope this is good because we know the formula can work in live action Scooby Doo. The James Gunn movie was pretty funny back in the day. Even as a kid, I still love it. Heck, they gave us Buffy as as Daphne. That's awesome. The guy who's playing Fred is now Johnny Storm. Yes, that same Fred is now Johnny Storm. Hell yes. Wonderful. Got a big upgrade. So it's funny, even though the R-rated version of Scooby Doo is reporting the gun is now lost. Damn it, somebody find it. It can work. Even the Cartoon Network special movies, they were fine. I can tolerate them. Even if I were watch them now, I'll still be saying, why did I like this as a kid? But again, I'll still be saying, I can tolerate. I can let it go. I can let it slide. So I am hoping at the very release, this movie does well, the show does well, and hopefully that we get like Matthew Lillard and a few others back, because that would be great to see Matthew Lillard as Shaggy again, or just playing his parent. That would be great. Or hell, he could be one of the teachers, which would be great, or one of the villains. Because you can go either way with Matthew, because he loves the franchise. He's a dedicated fan like us, and I hope it does well. Hell, all it has to do is be better than Velma, which is already a low bar to clear. Again, let's see what else we got here. Remember how many times? Well, that because there was also a lot of DC fans campaigning, and when you get Zach doing the "let me sit down, let me finish what was going to happen in the film," and then you got the actors and actresses involved with the DC fan campaign. That's one thing. And to be fair, the timing of the Snyder Cut worked out well in the end, is because HBO Max was launching, so they were going to get their streaming platform to launch. So, and they really needed that big film. So, in the end, the Snyder Cut did pay off in the end. And they always say, "Well, we don't have the cut." Like, well, technically speaking, they do. They just haven't quite finished filming it.
Agreed. But we'll see what happens though with this. I mean, God, God forbid it.
I mean, there was like 5 adaptations of Scooby Doo in live action, so it's not that unheard of. So as long as it's good and I can watch it, I'll be fine. But if it's crap like Velma or the crappy Resident Evil live action, ugh, that we got from Netflix a few years back ago, then no thank you.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree because there's just a lot to go on and everything, uh, and making sure that we all get the proper inductions. But we'll see what happens, though. I really hope they learned their lesson, and we all can hope and pray they do with this. And it's Netflix. I mean, Netflix has done. I mean, they gave One Piece the justice it did deserve here. It did deserve, and and they had some failures too. I'm not going to mention the failures, but they're learning. They're learning. So I just hope they take what made Scooby Doo great and go from there. Uh, but one can hope. Now, as for the people who aren't showing up on there, you and I, as we said at the top of this topic, you and I called it last week. We both called it when that was announced. And Thunderbolts is, and you're right, Thunderbolts is not even out yet, and somehow they fucked up and spoiled who will be there. So not only did they spoil the ending of Thunderbolts, they did it in a really ambiguous fashion. Now we know who is going to survive in that movie. And it's sad. Because I know how much, because Joker, I know how much you love Taskmaster and everything. I know how much you do. And my heart breaks because it's just like, damn it. Well, what are we going to do now? There's no way to go back from it. There's just no way. And they just can't keep up with it. So with that being says, apparently, have you heard, Joker? We're getting and some more weird news. We're getting Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
I have seen some of the set stuff that's been popping up on Facebook lately. So again, that's both a good thing because some people are getting like either first looks or whatnot. And one of my friends, who's also a big fan of FNAF, who no longer works at my job, but we both really love FNAF and a few other games as well. Even when I was showing stuff to him, like, oh, here's this horror movie that's coming out or whatnot. Heck, even he and I, we were both excited for the original Blood and Honey and even FNAF. We're like, this looks good. So it looks good. And to be fair, these movies for FNAF, to be fair, they're made on the cheap side, but it's also the good cheap, meaning that the budget it is manageable and it's Blumhouse. Love or hate Blumhouse, they can produce some really good Oscar-worthy films, some really good like horror films that I can say I can watch this, I can get by, and also at the same time those crappy horror films like what was it, Ouija, and a few others, even like Truth or Dare. Oh God, I hated that movie so much, but they will do good. And again, I'm excited to see what they do with FNAF 2. And according to Matthew Lillard, again, he's still saying this is still a movie that is made for the fans. And apparently, I can't find the tweet again or like an article that he said it had an interview for, but he said they did learn. They did learn a few things. So I'm like, good. It's gonna be bigger, better. Go for it. I'm excited. Do I like the first half movie? From a fan point of view, it's all right. The critic side of me is saying, oh God, there's still a lot of things wrong with this movie. The runtime was decent, but there was too many darn flashback sequences. There wasn't a whole lot of time in the pizzeria. When you were in it, it was fine. It felt like I was playing the actual game itself, though it does suffer from the usual horror stuff where the stuff that you want to see, you can't quite see right away. Obviously, it's not R-rated, it's PG-13. Totally understandable. But to me, it wasn't insultingly bad. It's still a FNAF game. What are they going to do with it? And to be fair, they did try a lot of different things for FNAF. But I say this is the safest bet to go for movie number one. If this one improves all my problems the first movie, I'll be fine with it.
Yes, I agree. I'm hoping FNAF 2 is gonna be good. Because I like the first one. it did its part. It did what it set out to do, and everything. And I'm genuinely excited. I'm genuinely excited for it. Um, so apparently, and now to the big one that we've been sitting on for a good while. The Snow White debacle that we've been dealing with. Because Joker and I have decided we were going to wait and talk about it until after opening weekend. And needless to say, the AMC theater, I heard this from one of my coworkers, Joker. I heard this from a coworker. Apparently, one of the customers who went to AMC were the only 4 people in that movie. In
Oh my god! Like,
out of it, I want to say an 80-person theater. That's embarrassing. And now and now in this news, to no one's surprise, a 1.6 out of 10 on IMDb. Where do we begin with this? Because I don't even know anymore. Because it goes to show. I mean, look,
is that
nothing.
the current update?
Yes, as of 6:11 p.m. on IMDb, and I cannot believe I cannot believe how this is gonna go. Let me see if I can find more Snow White news to match it, because apparently a lot of people just don't know. They're really crapping all over uh Snow all over Snow White, and justifiably so, because it just goes to show how bad it's gone. And guess what? This proves it right here. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, goes to show how bad you can fuck up. We thought Dragon Ball Evolution, a movie that came out in 2009, 2009, and everybody, myself included, we tried giving it the benefit of the doubt. It didn't do almost all they tried. It got a 2.5 on the IMDb rating, and then Snow White comes in with Rachel in it, having the worst PR stuff I have ever seen. It makes Assassin's Creed Shadows blush. Now look, I have nothing against Gal Gadot. I have nothing against her. This did not do her any favors. And if I were her, I would be screaming at my agent right now. Why was I paired with this insufferable woman who can't keep her mouth shut? Now, look, when I heard the live action Disney Snow White remake, I thought, okay, we'll give it a fair chance. But how do you go from this to this in a matter of seconds? Because I really do not know, Joker. I really do not know. What are your thoughts on this whole mess of things?
Well,
What's your
apparently, from what I could find out, that some of the dwarves are motion capture, so there is little people who do suffer from dwarf syndrome that are in the film, but why couldn't we put them in costume? Why is this movie even being made to begin with? A problem with the CGI dwarves is that they all look hideous. They look ugly. And apparently, what I found out, Dobby speaks. Now you're saying, wait, what? Yes, Dobby speaks. He's the opening narration, spoiler, and he speaks in somewhere in the film. So, sorry, they can't even get Dobby right. Why? It goes from the whole D23 interview, them making a more modern Snow White. Why? To even her interviews going like weird, weird, weird. To me, it was always going to be a disaster, the movie. And even I remember when stuff was coming out, like even before that, like the always terrible your first look at Snow White. It looked like she was just in cosplay. It looked rushed. It looked like, why are you saying this is my first look at her in the iconic Snow White outfit? Like, why? Wouldn't you want something better on set? Like them actually getting ready for rehearsal? It looked like, again, she had some braids in or some clips in with the hair. So it looked like she's just getting ready to go to set, not on set, not preparing for a role. It's just like, why would this be it? And the seven bandits we see in the film are in the film in that terrible first photo look of her with the bandits. It looks ugly. It looks awful. This movie was doomed to fail from the start. Very much doomed to fail. And unfortunately, Disney is not going to make their money back. People are going to say, yes, they will. They're going to make billions of dollars. This film had multiple different reshoots. It had a set that burned down that obviously cost them millions of dollars to, you know, but they lost on said set. They had people who were going to play the dwarves, and yet they were fired after Peter Dinklage comments. Then they were brought back in for after massive backlash and again reshoots. This is a film that obviously does not has been too much curse. There's too much bad blood. It's a movie I refuse to see because no, it's not made for you. It's not Snow White. It's a different character. It's a completely different film. And the stuff they try to do that they try to change up doesn't work. And apparently she's only called Snow White because when she was born, she survived a snowstorm, hence Snow White. Okay. And then it's a film that's a headache. That's what I'm going to call it. It's a headache. It's a massive headache with so many different problems. It feels like it was never meant to come out, but too much money being spent on it, all the different reshoots, the controversies, they had no choice but to release it in theaters. Her comments on social media about the election was uncalled for, and that to Disney was saying, this is the last straw. You crossed the line you're not supposed to cross. But Pedro Pascal can do it, and he can get away with it.
Or that crap with
Gina Carano.
yeah. Oh, that's a double standard. That's the double standard right
So the
there.
males can say it, but the females
And
cannot.
Rachel
Because
Zellweger can say whatever.
Hines can just make a simple comment of why didn't he show up for the Avengers stuff with again during the election 4 years for 3.5 years back ago, 4 years now, because he simply said I didn't want to do that. Good for you, Chris. And yet it's like cancel him. Why? Why cancel the guy? He just gave an honest answer. Because of the church he goes to. So now we're attacking people for which church we go to. Did he even know? Probably not. Like this is ridiculous.
Exactly. And plus, it gets worse. This
What
is
happened?
this is relatively new. This broke today. The son of Snow White producer Mark Platt absolutely unleashes on Rachel Zelger for ruining his father's movie. Uh, so apparently, uh, he is he's calling her out on on being political and ruining Snow White. And uh so the comment comes from Platt, uh was found on Instagram after one user asked why his dad flew to New York City to talk to Rachel about tanking the movie. Platt specifically blamed Zelger and her narcissism for the film's flop. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and blue collar workers who were depended on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. And he is right. He is right because remember, look at look at what all those past interviews with Rachel and the director. All that stuff like this movie's in that this movie came from 1937 and it's so uncomfortable and this and that, all the talking points that you and I and many others are so sick and tired of hearing of. Snow White is a beloved classic animation film that and keep in mind, Joker, this was made in 1937. You know how crazy that is with all of that going on. It was beautifully shot. Well, and keep in mind, it's 2D hand drawn.
Well,
2D.
my favorite shot in the film is I always love if people want me to watch your film. Here's the thing for me. I absolutely love reflection shots in mirrors, any type of glass,
Oh,
even
yeah.
like water, stuff like this. I don't water right now, but I love reflections. There's something cool about a wonderful reflection shot. It could be someone getting out of the shower, looking at themselves in the mirror, and be like, "Huh, cool." Or again, my favorite scene in Joker is the bathroom sequence, and I love when he's in that stinky bad bathroom, and he's calming himself, dancing with what he's hearing in his head. That's music, and he's doing this weird dance that's calming him down. The moment he does this and he's looking in the mirror, you're like, oh, that's awesome. It's a reflection of himself, but it's like it's also the Joker persona slowly coming out. I love that shot. So if you want me to win to come to watch your film, if you just say I have a cool reflection shot, I'm like, where is it? Where is it? I will be there. Like I love reflection. It gets you connection to you, the soul, the audience, the characters, and it's nice to see a before and after reflection to reflect upon the journey. My favorite
Here,
shot in Snow White, Seven Dwarfs, 2D hand drawn, is
kind of like
the
this Joker.
transformation sequence. That is
Yes.
great, but that's not that. This is not my favorite that you're showing, but it's the transformation sequence of the evil queen. Those lines you remember of her, what she's putting into the potion, even temporarily. And when you see this beautiful shot, it's all dark and everything, and yet you can see her face and it's animated and it's moving. I'm like, oh, that
So
shot
these are
alone is amazing.
this is the reflection shot you were talking about, right?
Yeah,
Kind of like
kind of like
this.
that. I love stuff like this. I love like even something like a character that's doing something goofy in the mirror. I'm like, dude, that's funny. But if you
Eh,
want the shot, the evil queen holding that mug, that glass, the potion. If you can find that, I will keep telling people, look how beautiful the shot is. Look how amazing the detail is. Back in 2D, before CGI was even created, before all the map stuff with like from Treasure Planet or Tarzan and all that stuff. That stuff is amazing. It's amazing. Again, the Evil Queen's transformation is brilliant, and it ends with it's with that shot of she's holding it, and it's like, oh, dude, this is so cool.
Kind of like, oh, I think I found it.
Is that it? Is that? Oh! Look at that shot. Look at this shot, folks. Look how beautiful the shot is. Oh, so good. That was beautiful. Look how beautiful that shot is.
I can't imagine how hard it is to do all that. Like keep like the character talking, the bubbles
Keeping it
going
center
up,
focus.
and
It's
also
also glass. It's glass. So and you have water. So how do you combine this dark blue purplish color
look at the hand.
with this?
Look at the hand details too.
I know, single frame. So thankfully, I don't have to animate the hand moving. You need to animate her face moving. Look at it. Play it again. Look how hard this must have been just for somebody. The eyes move. Her mouth moves. Her like the entire jaw line moves. How she's talking. Like, look how hard this is. People are going to say that's not hard. This is hard back when they did it.
Yeah,
Try
and
doing this nowadays.
keep in mind, guys, this was in the 1930s.
1930s.
And this, imagine going to a movie theater and seeing this for the first time. And this is what gave Disney that leader in animation in America. This right here proves it. And actually, Joker,
look at the bubbles. It's got bubbles. It's got bubbles.
Yeah.
So not only are you animating the face.
Oh, look at the top of.
Look at the bubbles.
Look at the top of the cup. Look at the top of the cup. It's the bubbles are popping. All of that all at once.
In the background. Again, all this just for stuff that's small. You might not even notice. Nowadays, they won't even do stuff like that. You might get a cool reflection, but you're missing out so many small little details. And the transformation itself is so good.
Look at all of this.
Oh, look. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Is Disney going to copyright this? Screw you. But look how she even says, like, my hands. Oh, the hand transformation is so cool. This is wonderful. And you see skeletons, and you see the skeletons of the hands. You see the bones. The lightning strikes. And look how the bubbles never leave. Like, the bubbles never leave. There's always bubbles until the transformation's done. Did you notice that? There's always bubbles. Oh, the crow falling. That's the classic.
Joker, this isn't surprisingly, this is not considered lost media, and thank God it's not.
Thank God, even if you hate Mother Basement, even he says that there's like a site that's dedicated to find like who animated the stuff, like who's the person.
I can't imagine how hard it is to animate this shot.
I mean, look at you got the vortex. You got her. Well, besides from drinking, you need to match this with you got a nice light.
You gotta sell it. You gotta sell it.
And when you want the bubbles never leave. You got all the wind, the hair, the lightning, the bubbles. The hands are transforming. This is awesome. Look at the skeletons right now. There are the hands. You got the bones. That's amazing. It's amazing. Why can't we get stuff like this again? Because people say it's too hard, too expensive. Yes, you're correct, but there's got to be someone who's passionate enough, who's willing enough to do it. Creativity at its finest. Even them zooming in before she moves, like that is a face that's I'm determined.
Because look, she is at her wits. You could tell she's at her wits end just by emotion, facial, and tone of voice alone. You could tell she's pissed, And this is such a great scene. It's such a great shot, and I know I'm gonna get hit with copyright, but you know what, Disney? We're trying to prove a point here. Stick with what made it work. Because up until now, because if you go back to all the classic Disney movies, like with Atlantis: The Lost Empire, um, uh, uh, um, Mulan, Hercules, all the great classic 2D storyboard drawn stuff, even in the early 2000s, like with Danny Phantom, uh the Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, um My Life as a Teenage Robot, when XJ9 puts on that scary human skin and it forms a life of its own. It's effective. It's effective and done right. You want to introduce your antagonist and show how far they're willing to go for their belief. That that clip we just showed of the transformation proves everything. And and people were like, "Oh, well, the bad guys are too scary." That's the point. You want your bad guy to be just as effective as your heroic character. And it's done in such a fashion that you can appreciate. Ask any animation student about this. They will tell you that it's important to have all those aspects together. And we understand. We understand. And Joker did mention like, oh, it's too expensive and everything. That may be true, but there are a lot of dedicated people out there, animators, who can do this. I know we can get movies like this. I mean, look at. I mean, and I know we have CGI and like computer animated stuff nowadays. That's completely fine in and of itself, but you don't capture the flow of 2D
There's
hand drawing, because
there's a
look.
thing called when we talk about the animation. It's simply this: animation. You're allowed to have this wonderful freedom of expression. You're allowed to exaggerate scenes. You're allowed to make things feel more dramatic and things feel more impactful. Again, think of some of your favorite scenes in animation. When the hero wins, you feel that big giant impact. Where you want something scary to horrify and scar your kids. You think of scenes like this, like how can someone transform themselves with all this stuff to make themselves just to be old, just to eliminate somebody. This is scary. This is horrifying. Or
it,
we want
it
to feel sad.
is
Watch
is it
Violet Evergarden or any good slice of life stuff or anything. It sells you the tone without even saying things, without words, because what's drawn for you is a visual medium.
now we can all now in terms of
And compare the
exaggerate.
scene to live action. My friend Casey used to send me stuff. It's like there are just so many cuts and you lose so much impact. I mean, she just drinks it and then just goes, "Let me just walk." Where's the impact? Where's the emotion?
See, like,
You lose
right,
all of that. You
she
lose all
drinks
of that.
it, and look, it's like go and look, there's the transformation. This
There's
is
this
done.
wonderful 360 spin to match the vortex and everything. Again, look at the bubbles. There are bubbles everywhere, lightning, there's storm. Look at the hair transformation. It's like that reminds me of what Indiana Jones would do later in life.
Mhm. And also it goes to show like
Look at those
how
shadows. Look at those shadows, man. those were awesome. Just animating the shadows of them. I'm like, dude, that
And
must
keep in
have been
mind,
hard.
this is all done. All this right here,
2D.
in one cohesive storyboard, written, hand drawn motion.
Their
Look,
layouts and everything. Obviously, things have to be timed, but like this is wonderful.
the
I
fact
miss
that
stuff like this.
the fact the live action couldn't capture this, and given what we've heard, it goes to prove why this film, why the live action is getting the review bombing it deserves. It's sad that this had to happen. And we look at it and we go, how could a movie do all this and yet still and the live action completely fucked it up? Because it just goes to show that they couldn't do it right. They couldn't give it the justice it deserves. And it really just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, how far one can push against so many different things. And I'm still trying to find it, but looking at it, I just don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And because here we go. Joker. This is like a clip. This is like a scene from it, like a behind the on the set and everything.
Hmm.
It doesn't. It
Doesn't quite work.
it
On one
doesn't.
hand, the hag's outfit does work, where I'm like, I can appreciate some of this stuff. Like the set designs look pretty nice, they look good, but there's just a lot compared to more the perhaps the small space in the original versus something that looks a bit larger. Yes, camera work, angles, they'll definitely sell stuff to feel more dynamic and everything, but even being minimal can add so much. Like, look at you're probably gonna miss the hand shadows in this. And this is a movie I refuse to see, but I have watched Snow White so many times. I know these scenes. I know the direction they're gonna go into. Versus live action, you miss a whole lot of it. Now, don't make this wrong. A live action movie can be good if they do it right. But just because it's real people does not make it better. Flow was animated by one guy and won the picture of best animation feature film. And there probably were a few more people, but a small team beat everybody was there at the Oscars. It beat The Wild Robot. It beat a few other movies too. But think about that. The Wild Robot was a guaranteed win, but Flow beat that. Wow.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, Gal Gadot, when I
Gal
saw
Gadot.
the when I saw her as the queen, I'm like, okay, we actually got something going. Cause she looked good, but
She got the outfit, but the sad thing with Gal Gadot, yeah, look, I know the acting is very wooden. Fast and Furious, she's fine with. The first Wonder Woman movie, she was fine in. The Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, she was fine in. But she's not given the best material. She needs better direction. And honestly, I do think she can act. Unfortunately, it's just delivery. It's line reading. It's just not very good. She's got the look for the evil queen. Don't get me wrong. If you put her in that costume, once you see her in a couple angles, you're like, hey, that's the evil queen. But then she starts to talk. The "What did you just say?" Oh, those lines. Yikes, not very good.
It's not, unfortunately. And when you look at it, it's like
It's the same
visually.
problem I have with Kate Blanchett as the evil stepmother. I love freaking Kate. She should, but the evil stepmother was done better, and sadly, in the original. To be fair, again, I love Kate. The new stuff they added to her for her version, they're fun additions. She's still very much in the evil stepmother, but then again, you kind of feel more for her for that one. But I still prefer the original because that one's more scarier than Kate. I love Kate, but she cannot scare me the way the evil stepmother. Now, again, Gal Gadot as the evil queen. Again, right here, this is the evil queen. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a good scene, and then it kind of falls flat when she starts acting.
Yes, because visually,
They
this
they got the
it
look right.
they got it right. The right makeup, the right tone,
Sure,
the
the
right
jewels are
outfit.
a bit overkill, but even when you see her in more of the iconic colors, I'm like, again, this is the evil queen. You got somebody cool. And then she starts talking. Again, I'm sorry, Gail. I'm sorry.
We it, it's just so sad when you just try and make it work, and it's like, oh no, what have we? And it's like, oh no, what have we done?
Again, I think
And
the worst one for the villains, sadly, it belongs to Chuachel. And here's the thing, I love Chuachel. But when you hear his Scar versus Jeremy Irons, uh, uh, uh,
there's the mirror, and there she is.
again, this is the evil queen right here. It could work. It could work, but kind of quite doesn't.
That's the tragedy in this whole thing. They almost got they almost got it right. They almost got it right. It's just when you have her talk.
Not that great. When you have poorly written dialogue, not that great. If there was a better director here with some better directions, I think Gail could have done. Or again, just say, let's try this again. I
See,
don't know.
like right
Again,
here.
that's the evil queen. She's got the look. She's got the outfit on.
Like right here is where is where we could throw some appreciation. We could throw the appreciation right
And
here.
apparently, here's the kicker. She sings in this movie. They gave the evil queen a song, and people said it is not good.
Oh no, why are they doing that? Why? I can't Joker, help me out here. In the original animation, did she ever sing at all?
Nope.
And that goes to show why you need a director who knows what they're doing.
And Mark Webb, he can be a good director. He's been making films, he's been making music video. He is a music video director at heart, and has directed television shows before. Can he do it? Yes. The sad thing is, I don't think anybody had a good time making this movie, and
And
you
look, and
really
look, and look, ladies and gentlemen, we're not shilling for this movie. We're getting our fairest criticism here, but we can also show a little appreciation.
like the costumes are at least on the Evil Queen look right. There's some nice set designs in the castle when you're exploring the castle for a little bit, but story wise falls flat. The dwarves look ugly. Rachel Zelgar really ruined this movie for everybody.
I mean, at least the Snow White outfit, it almost looked accurate. It almost looked accurate. Okay, I think this is as best as I'm gonna get with this, like right here. This is as best as I'm gonna get. Cause here it almost looks good. You got her in her iconic outfit. You got Rachel in the Snow White outfit.
That's not really the outfit. It looks very cheap.
But how does Gal Gadot look far superior? Because this is elegance. This is elegance alone. You got you got her right here as the evil queen. She is dominate. Joker, you'll
I'd
agree.
say she is from the military, but also she's also a model too. So she does strike that elegant pose.
And
Again,
she's
may not be the
dominating
best
this
actress,
photo.
but she's
Sh-
got the look down. She's got the right pose.
And she's
Heck, if
just
she was just
dominating
cosplaying
this.
it, I would say, "Oh my God, you should do the Evil Queen one of these days."
And think about it, Joker. She is dominating this image.
I mean, she is. She looks
She's
amazing.
she's
If
making
these were
Rachel
the
look like
actual
an
promotional
afterthought.
photos, people
She's
would
making
be praising Gail a whole lot more and say, "Wow," versus what we actually got in the trailers of the. What did you say? Oh,
oh,
but according to the
that
Angry Joe
was
show, again,
that
according to the Angry Joe show, when she does speak, well, besides her normal accent, again, this could be placebo effect. This could be what they're remembering. But if she did try to put on like a European accent or something, yikes, that's even worse. So this again, at the end of the day, this movie is going to be a big, massive bomb. People are going to say, but it's going to be safe. No. If you want to see the better movie, see The Day the Earth Blew Up. See that instead.
yes. Yes, see that instead, guys, because we apparently
This is the big one. This is the big one. Oh, they might, rumor, might sell it. They might sell Coyote vs. Acme to Catch Up Entertainment, the people who saved The Day the Earth Blew Up.
yes. Speaking of which, we'll probably end on this last bit right here because um apparently this broke today, and I shared this with you. Apparently Jim Cummings is coming back as Drake Mullard and Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
Now, Jim Cummings, I will forever honor and respect his line of work. I hope to meet him one day at a convention and just give him the praise in person. I want to at least give him the praise in person and thank him for the childhood characters because and rightfully so. Unfortunately, he's gonna be with Jagoff Seth Rogen, and let's just hope that things go good because Darkwing Duck is one of my favorite shows growing up. I love the mystery behind it. I loved all the characters. I just love that world. And Jim Cummings as Darkwing Duck is perfect. And I'm hoping beyond hope, and it's gonna be on, and it's gonna be on Disney Plus. There's no denying it. It's gonna be on. It's gonna be on Disney Plus. So, like I said, we're gonna see how this goes, and that's actually pretty funny. Um,
To me, I know this was slightly in development for a little bit, but if they were able to continue the story in some shape or way or form, fine. If it's gonna be like new adventures, completely fine. But this is gonna be another one. Wait and see. You got Jim back, fine. If it's different writers, I'm gonna be slightly iffy about. But Darkwing Duck was honestly like their answer to what WB was putting out with all their comic book stuff. So with like Batman and everybody else, but let's put like a good spoof on that with the DuckTales formula. It's pretty cool actually. Also, again, I don't know what it was with Disney and the themes back in the day, but man, Darkwing Duck had a cool theme.
oh yes, and it just goes to show how great of a classic it It
Hell, why isn't
was
there a Duckwing game? Why has there not been a Darkwing Duck game?
right. And I just wish that we had I just wish that I wish Jim Cummings the best of luck to this. And I'm hoping that it stays true to what made Darkwing Duck really good. There are rumors going around that Tailspin is on the block to they want to make it, and as awesome as it is, you're gonna need a lot of magic to make that show work. And with everything going on. So I'm hoping for the best for Darkwing Duck. I love the show. Hopefully it does better than the Proud Family, Louder and Prouder.
Don't get me started on that show.
I know, I know. I am hoping for a good series for this, a good story, the characters looking as wacky as we remember, and that's it.
And give me that iconic intro with the "Let's get dangerous."
Yes, we need that. And I'm hoping and you know what? Despite what happened to Orlando Brown, I wouldn't mind a retelling of Fillmore. I would not mind it one bit because that show was fun to watch. It takes place in a high school and everything. I'm sorry, I think no middle school. I'm
Middle
sorry,
school, elementary.
middle school and elementary, and it just tells it so well. Like of all the juveniles, pranksters, and everything in school that we dealt with on a daily basis, and I love that. I love that world. It was a drama show, sometimes a crime show, blended into one. It's like Law and Order made in elementary school. That's the best I can describe it, but really good. Got two prominent people in it. Tara Strong, Orlando Brown. Sorry. I am trying hard to say not I'm trying very hard not to say Orlando Bloom. I am trying here. I am really trying because I don't want to confuse the eyes. Like, wait a minute, what the hell? When did Orlando Bloom star in Fillmore in a Disney show? It's hard to do it, people, because you got to separate the two people. It's difficult when you have we have two people, same actors with the name Orlando, because you gotta know who you're talking about just to make this work. I swear. But on the topic of Darkwing, I hope we get the intro again. I hope we get the intro. I would love to hear it one last time with Jim Cummings on the microphone shouting saying that famous line.
Let's get dangerous.
And I'm ready for it because I'm ready.
I'm ready.
And actually on September and coming this year, ladies and gentlemen, on September 6th, 2025, it will be the 34th anniversary of this show.
Mm.
So the timing's perfect. The timing's perfect. It's the 34th anniversary of this show. I would not be surprised, Joker, if they dropped this on that day. Like they aired this reboot on that very day. That would be amazing. And to cap it off on 34 years. Ain't it crazy how that is? It's so unbelievably crazy. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we've had Oh, what's up, Shiny? What's up, buddy? We've had a stellar night on Knightcast. We cracked out all the stops on the news, and we got to almost all the notes. But with that being said, I'm gonna give my final word here, and then I'm gonna pass the baton to Joker and get his. Everything is falling into place like we predicted with um
But
with
there's one more. We gotta celebrate the 10 years
here
of Bloodborne.
yep
We
that
have
10
to
year
do this. It's been 10 years since Bloodborne originally released on the
yep
wonderful PS4. The next game after Dark Souls 2, a brand new IP from the minds of Miyazaki and his team over there. But most importantly, the fun fact is this: Bloodborne would not have existed if it wasn't for Japan Studio. Sony shut them down, but without Japan Studio kind of coming up with those concept and design and just kind of pitching it around, we would not have Bloodborne. It is a big collaboration. So as much as you guys want to thank From Softworks, remember, thank Japan Studio for having these ideas as well. This wonderful joint collaboration of The Hunt. It's been going on for 10 years. 10 years of meeting wonderful Bloodborne fans. I have met wonderful Bloodborne cosplayers. You have no idea how beautiful their cosplays are. It is wonderful that they are still loving this game, playing the game. It's amazing. It's amazing. And there's still no remastered version of this game on PS5. You can play it backwards compatibility. Oh, yes, you can. You can play it on digital. Oh, yes, you can. Until the digital store goes down. So find your copies, secure them. Happy 10 years to Bloodborne. Thank you for being one of those games that I still have yet to beat, only because I'm foolish enough to go for the true ending, and my levels were too low at the time. So
haha but and happy 10 years to Bloodborne. We send our roses to you. A fun game. If you haven't played it yet, what's stopping
please,
you?
please,
Go play it. It's a
please, if
lot of
you love
fun.
Elden Ring, play this. This is great. If you love Sekiro, play this. It was wonderful, amazing. And there's no Bloodborne 2, so that's a bummer. I would love
That's
to see a Bloodborne 2, but it's Sony's IP and they control it. So
yeah, sadly yes. And on top of that, it looks like it looks like everything we have mentioned last week has come to pass. We predicted what would happen with the Avengers Doomsday with that supposed leak that actually turned out to be true, which has confirmed what Joker and I suspected last time we talked about it, that they spoiled the ending of Thunderbolts, a movie that hasn't come out yet. So now it begs the question: do you want to now? Should we even go see it? Is the one question that I leave with people here tonight. Would you still go see Thunderbolts despite the fact there was a full cast announcement for Avengers Doomsday right then and there? Also, and 34 years of Darkwing Duck has been amazing. I cannot wait for that show to come out. Jim Cummings back at the helm is the greatest decision for this, and I'm on board with it. It's a good timing to with it coinciding the 34 years. As far as Snow White is concerned, it's gonna tank further. They're not gonna hit. They're probably not even gonna break even on this, given the ratings that it saw that we saw, the box office returns that we're seeing the numbers come from. I say it's dead in the water, and which is really really sad because they were on the cusp of making a good one until they gave Rachel the microphone and told her, "Hey, go promote the movie." And she took that and made a platform of stuff that we did not ask for, did not want, And unfortunately, it killed the hype and everything for this movie. And of course, Peter Dinklage has I blame him as well for his pissy attitude about everything else involving the dwarves. Gal, Gal, you looked wonderful as the evil queen, and our hats are off to you. But work on your fucking acting, please. We were so hyped,
Well,
and
not
then
really.
well, not
Well,
really,
not really.
but not really, until you opened your fucking mouth and ruined the character.
What did you say? Oh God, those lines.
Oh,
Half
that
of the
was so.
screenplay, the director who can direct just probably just gave up.
I guess so. So, Joker, your final thoughts. I hand the baton to you.
Well, it's a lot to take in. There's some positive stuff we talked about. Happy that we're getting Nintendo Direct. Hopefully, Silk Song does show up. If not, we'll continue to play the Everlong waiting game. To me, fearing that hopefully is not vaporware out there, even for a small studio who might believe they're making their last game. I am hoping it does well. And for Bloodborne, 10 years of the hunt. 10 very long years of the hunt. It's been very much glorious of hunting all the beast in Yarnum. So that was very much wonderful to do. Though the sad thing is, we may never see a game from Bloodborne. We'll never, hopefully, Disney stop making all these live action films. Please stop. If Snow White isn't the wake up call, then all the past films weren't. What are you doing over there? What are you doing? They just need to stop. Stop with this. But since Darkwing's coming back, at least there's some shiny light. Hopefully it's at least watchable and not what the Proud Family Louder has been. Because I absolutely hate that show with a passion. Because the first show, while flawed, was very much a good flawed show. They even taught you stuff that, yes, they did talk about. Oh, I remember Proud Family talking about Title IX in sports or racism when the family did see that. That is an indication you've done something right versus louder and which is kind of just in your face a little bit. Yeah, you remember the episode that when they popped up saying this country was founded on, and I'm just doing the Skeletor meme going, let me stop you right there. You just lost the argument.
Yeah,
But
they did with that one because it also because there was also that one in the original Proud Family when they did that swapped families for 1 week for for I think it was a school event they were doing, and Penny went to go live with people who came from the Middle East. Really wonderful people. They were actually genuinely nice throughout that whole episode. And of course, we understand where Penny comes from because she's meeting people that she's never seen before and is not used to the customs of the whole thing. And that's understandable. That is completely understandable. And when they got back from having a good time, going out to dinner, having a great time, they come back to that family's house and see the graffiti and everything. And that powerful speech by Penny at the end of that episode was the master class of speaking out against all of that, and it's done so unbelievably well. And a reason with it, and it's like, hey, I can actually get behind that, and I actually understand that. What Louder and Prouder did, it took that and completely smashed it into the ground like a pumpkin on Halloween. Completely smashed it to pieces. I will never forgive them for that one. I will never forgive them. And they made Trudy the sweet mother that we all knew. into a stereotypical angry, abusive parent. Why? Eh, that's another rant for another time, ladies and gentlemen. But Joker and I gave our full thoughts on that show. It's all there, documented. We both hated it. Not because of the cast and everything. We just didn't think it was an unnecessary reboot because the Proud Family movie that came before that, when Penny turned 16, was the perfect send off for that series. And I was fine with that. I was happy with it. And same with the Kim Possible movie, A Stitch in Time. That one was really well good. It encapsulated everything. Kim and Ron got together. Draken's finally fully defeated, and Shigo is off to do something else. My point is, Louder and Prouder should not have been made. It made no sense. It added no value to that IP. None. So with Darkwing Duck, I am hopeful for it because you have the right elements, you have the right people, excluding Seth Rogen, but that's a different thing. I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, guys, tomorrow night is the Black Cat watch party. I finally got to work after hours of stress, hours of searching. I finally found something that made the DVDs work. I'm gonna test it again tonight when I get off. And then tomorrow night, special start time, 7:15. 7:15 PM tomorrow, Mountain Standard Time. We're gonna be watching the first 3 episodes of Black Cat. We encourage all of you to be there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna have discussions. We're gonna give our thoughts on the characters, the setting, as we go through this series. We're gonna finish this whole series. Stay tuned for that, guys. We love you. We thank you for your support and keep on going, guys. Also, share Knightcast and everything. We got a lot of work ahead of us to do. There's a lot of things we would love to talk about too with others. If you want to be if you want to be a prominent person on Knightcast, get a hold of us. We will happily get you on. The links are there. Anyway, guys, I am going to get out of here. Joker, I thank you for being a magnificent co-host tonight. I will see you tomorrow night for the watch party, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody for coming on by. Thank you to channel Starface. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shiny, California, Xavier, Freedom Fighter, Big Angry Phil, wonderful surprise. Cyril, George, Cliff, and James. So many wonderful people, and also you wonderful people on Twitter. You guys make this happen, and all of my wonderful friends. Take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.